they scuff or something happens. So, also Gator Shark Thistle, thank you for the resub. Do not mind it, it's beautiful and nice to listen to. I was gonna say I'm glad, and hopefully, hopefully you guys can hear it. It is on. If you can't hear it, then let me know because I can change the volume. So as you probably saw, I'm going to be doing watercolor tonight. I am unfamiliar to watercolor. Move my VTubing camera a bit. I have these two sketches done because I think sketching live is a little bit tedious. It just never really seems to come out well when I do that. I get distracted by talking. And my very first watercolor attempt I did last night, so I'm going to be doing another one tonight. No, there's a YouTube stream, it was just a little delayed. This was another piece that got done over the weekend. This was an acrylic marker piece. This is another acrylic marker piece, and this is actually from last year. It's kind of neat to see the comparison between the two, so I feel like you can really see the progress. But yeah, this was my first try at watercolors. I'm pleased with it. I think it turned out nice. So I'm gonna be doing it. Oof, sorry, bookworm. Again. There's another piece I think we finished this weekend, if I'm not mistaken. Oh yeah, there was this one. We did a alcohol marker one too. So there's been a few pieces that have gotten done since we last streamed, but that's all right. I will continue my habit. I will continue my work tonight. So for starters, I'm going to do the color wash for this. Part of the reason that I'm doing, 2 attacks at once is because when working with watercolor, something I've now learned is you need to put down the colors that you want to use first and foremost. And, sometimes it's going to take a little bit for that to dry. So it's better to give yourself extra time for that to dry instead of, rushing the process and then having stuff get messed up. 2 at once? Yeah, it's so that I don't ever have something, not ever lacking something to work on. I'm just going to do like a general wash of the background for this one for the start. Just so that there's some color down. I'm going to do the same on the other one once this is, once we're done with this. I really don't know what I'm doing though, so like don't take notes from me. This is just like after working on one piece, I was like, what would have made this go better is if I had 2 to work on at the same time so that I didn't have to wait. So I just decided to do that. Also, hello and what's haps you are so pretty. Thank you. I'm very excited to do more ARTFIGHT pieces. I've actually, astoundingly, I've had like a rate of doing 2 a day. Part of that is because we've been out and about so much. I haven't been at my computer to do anything else. And traditional art travels well. Part of it is because of the heat wave and insomnia. I haven't been able to sleep, so I've been just been staying up doing ARTFIGHT attacks instead. And you know what? That's fine. It's been working in my favor. All right, so this one. I plan on doing a lot of red in this one. Does anyone else hear the mining? Yes, there is mining. You're not mistaken by that. There is Minecraft noises in the background, currently playing, because they help me focus. They remind me. I've said on stream before that when I was younger, my little sister used to play Minecraft while I was working. I almost dripped paint on the carpet. I think I would have been killed. Just gonna do like a general red wash because the the moon in the background I'm gonna do as a red moon, but then also this hair character I plan on doing red, so I'm gonna get that in. The unicorn is the one thing that needs to go untouched though, because it's like a white unicorn. So I don't want to fill that in. How's the watercolor going? Would it be okay if the Minecraft noises were turned down just a little bit? Absolutely. Very, very easy to do. Let me turn that down for you guys. Is that better? You're getting super productive this art fight. I think it's just the enjoyment of having something to experiment with again. One of the things that has really been, troublesome with digital art lately is the process just feels very repetitive. It's the same thing. It's like do sketch, line sketch, color sketch, and You can always shift things up. It's part of the reason we started doing more paintings digitally. But even then, it's like, how much could you do to really, shift up that process? So this year for Art Fight, I figured we could try some new things. I'm gonna pick up watercolor if the brush made crunchy noises like that. No, it's not the brush making these noises. It's the Minecraft ASMR in the background. All right, so the funny thing is, watercolor is like a little more forgiving than ink is. In terms of traditional arts, I'm usually a ink artist. I was actually working on a comic, like penning a comic before stream started. But I think that I like watercolor because it's so forgiving and the process, it's like an interesting order that you go about doing things in. I find I'm a little more experimental with it, so I'm enjoying it. It's tempting me to pick up traditional art again. I mean, hey, Art Fight's the perfect time to do that because it is a gifting game meant for you to experiment and try new things. So this is the perfect time to do it. How are you everyone? I hope everyone's doing well. I started keeping a journal scrapbook last week and I've had a lot of fun with it. That's wonderful. I use mine as kind of like a joint, like, sketchbook diary. I do thumbnails for Art Fight in it, and then sometimes I'll do silly little comics or something like that. I'm going to move this one to the side to dry, and then bring this guy back over. Selmer is a very fun design. I know I'm biased, because I do really like dragons. But as soon as I saw this character, I was like, oh, I know exactly who I'm going to be drawing today. I'm going to bring the reference up, though, so I make sure I get the right color. The character does have mostly like a darker undertone, but I found even with characters with darker undertones, you should have a little bit of a warm wash first, because, they're a living thing, so they're going to have some flesh and blood color in there, even if they have dark fur. Also, how many attacks have you gotten done? I have gotten done 8 attacks so far. This will be 9 and 10 here. Guy who loves dragons, me too. Well, I figure doing a dragon and a unicorn the same day, it's kind of artistic, it's a bit poetic, narratively fitting, I suppose. But no, I wanted to keep up the rate of 2 attacks a day, and then, like I said, with watercolor, having something to do while the other one is drying is, it's part of the process anyway, so kind of works out in the attack's favor to do that. Let's see. Just want to make sure I don't hit the eye, because the eye is going to be very light yellow, so I want to make sure that I'm not eye or teeth, that is. This all here, though, this can get filled in. And then a little bit to the arm. We'll do more with this once the actual color gets set down. For now, this is just the wash. Tail back here needs a little bit more. I've already gotten a short animation done. That's crazy. I'm not really sure what other things. I know for a fact one of our goals was just to try to use every medium that we physically have in the house. The only ones that haven't been done yet are, I want to say, colored pencil and crayon. And so, 4 mediums in a week, that's pretty solid. That's a lot done. 1 attack a day is a lot for us employed. Oh, I was going to say, that is a lot. I want to be very clear that my rate is kind of insane. What happens if you hit something that's meant to be white? You just have to live with it. Actually, I've found when you do watercolor, you can wash stuff out by just putting some water on it. It's not perfect. You can also get a paper towel, which frankly I probably should have a paper towel here with me, but I forgot to grab one before. But no, I've gotten about 2 attacks done a day. There was a day we were out somewhere where I wasn't able to draw, so I didn't get any attacks done. That was last Friday. We were grocery shopping. But then I got like 3 attacks done the last 2 days, so it works out. I'm going to sit real quick, too. Currently, I was standing. I've done one every day at like 2 a.m. It's the heat wave has really been assisting ARTFIGHT in the sense that because I can't fall asleep, I've just been drawing instead. Which is, you know, great for ARTFIGHT, not good for my knee. Alright, let's see. I definitely want to fill in some of these things more with this red, because this is going to be... I might even be able to put a little less water when I do this. This, you know, this is all going to be the color. And then I'm also going to do a dual medium. I'm going to do ink. Fill in some of this stuff with ink. But the character and everything in the background, that I want to make sure I'm getting properly. I guess if the rabbit is meant to be kind of like ghostly, like glowing, it doesn't need to be as dark as the foliage in the background. Also, I'm still in my third attack, though after I'm done with all the attacks I'm planning on... Oh, hold on. I'm planning on switching to pixel art ones because I really want to do more of those. Yeah, that's a great idea. I mean, like I said, the ARTFIGHT's a great opportunity to practice any sort of medium that you want more time with. Also, this character, Marigold, the one I'm working on right now, they're not a rabbit unicorn, but their deal is, from what I can posit, is the character was cursed by a hare, which is who I'm painting sort of as like a ghostly figure in the background here. And that's what caused them to be... Oh, you know what I meant to do? Hold on. I figured I would do something today because this was something that was so requested. I have tonight's targets, and I'm going to pin that. So that if you guys wanted to check out the characters, you can go see what characters we're attacking tonight. Alright, cool, this is still live. So, if you want to attack these characters as well, this is who we've got. I managed to keep a 50-50 ratio of attacks and defensive somehow. I genuinely wish that I could say the same, but I actually, like, I almost don't want to share my attack to defense ratio. You can see it on my ARTFIGHT. It's pretty awful. I'm trying. It's not for any lack of trying. Like, I've been drawing every day, and this happens every year, but that I suppose this is part of the being like an art content creator. Did stream start early? Nope. It's same time it always starts. It might be a little early for when you usually come in. That's possible. Sometimes, typically people filter in, like, I'm gonna say like halfway through streams is when we start hitting our peak of like people coming in and being done with whatever their regular day-to-day things were. I was supposed to wait for this to dry, but I got excited because I wanted to keep painting the hair. I think it's cool. I love the idea of an evil forest creature. Guy who loves fairy tales. I love the idea of evil animals. Someone playing Minecraft right now? I have Minecraft noises in the background because they help me focus on art. And I enjoy the sounds of blocks crunching. Don't worry about the battle ratio. Many people can attack you at once, but you can only attack so many people. That's kind of... So here's my way of, like, making peace with it. So long as I score, like, a hefty amount of points with the attacks that I'm doing, I'm making my peace with it. Because, like, even simple ones, right? Like, even if you just do, like, a chibi or, like, a full body, that's still better than not doing anything. I'm contributing to the cause, even if I'm kind of like a giant, massive target. Also, sorry to disappoint, but one fell down. There's no Discord link. Alright, I gotta get this rabbit. The eye is the part that's gonna kill me a bit. Very real for the Minecraft noises. Thank you, they help me. Is this an ARTFIGHT attack, or is this for fun yourself? These are both ARTFIGHT attacks. I am doing 2 attacks tonight on the characters that are pinned. And I'm going to be trying to finish them, and if I finish these, then I'm probably going to work on a comic that I've been working on while wandering this afternoon. Probably do... I'm going to do it a little lighter, just in case I end up not liking the placement of some of the colors, or, you know, I end up wanting to move stuff around, but I can start here to begin with. guy with a red dot on their forehead. That's kind of how playing Art Fight feels sometimes. But, you know, like, affectionately. I enjoy it. I enjoy the challenge, even though I do get kind of jumped. Which watercolor are you using? So, this is Wessner Newton. I was out grocery shopping on Friday, and I picked up, they're like a little travel kit, actually. I use the little brush for details. But, you know, I haven't used watercolors since I was 4 or 5 or so. I've told the story a few times. Frankly, was like a little bit traumatized by the experience and then swore to never return to them again. But I really hate being scared of anything art related. You know, it kind of makes me feel like, I feel like if I'm always encouraging people to try new things, I should, you know, practice what I preach. So I decided for Art Fight this year to return to watercolors and give them another try. And, you know, I've done one piece with them so far, but I've really been enjoying them. Also, yes, this is a long dragon. Travel watercolors, that's so cute. It was inspired by Lemmy, because my friend Lemmy has been doing watercolor pieces. She has a very similar kit where it's like a little travel kit. And I was like, that's so fun. I could easily bring that around. You know, you could get water anywhere. All you really need is water, a napkin, and somewhere to sit. And patience because of the drying, but it's not too bad. So I think once, you know, I'm going to bring these to the beach after Art Fight's over. I have a whole month that I'm going to be off because we go to the beach with Forrest's family. And then there's Furrydelphia, which is like the furry convention that we go to. So I'll be traveling like all next month. I will not be at home. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the little travel watercolors with me, and I'm going to keep up doing these while I'm on the road. Because I figured that might be a fun way to you know, get some art done, but also to see how they travel and how I can work on them. The one thing I'm seeing, I'm not making this character like cool colored enough, and I realized that if you mix brown with like a cerulean or like a blue, it will turn it into a kind of black or gray, which is what color Selmer is. So I think I may do that, especially in these areas where there's meant to be like a lot of shadow. Came late, sorry if you covered it, but I thought watercolors are going to be an after Art Fight thing. Actually, I was going to do them if I hit my... So I had a goal of just using every medium that we have in the house, right? And if I did that, then I was going to try watercolors. The farter. So here's the thing, right? I already did that. Within the first week of Art Fight, I already used every single medium that we had in the house. And actually, we went out and got crayons because we didn't have those, and, you know, other parts wanted to try them. So after finishing it, I was like, well, hell, why not? We might as well go out and grab some watercolors if we're grabbing crayons at the same time. And ever the impatient man that I am, as soon as I heard that we had them, I wanted to try them, and I did, and I enjoyed it. Yeah, see, this is more close to the color that Selmer is, so. The blue, it's like combining blue with a brown is a good way to get that kind of grayish color. It also gives a little bit more rich of a tone to the character, but I'm going to let this dry so I don't abuse the paper. As I've said before, I have a tendency to brutalize the materials that I use. I'm trying to break that habit. I actually wanted to know what pens you use for your previous attack. My favorite pens have quadruple money, so I need a new option. Pens for previous attack. Was that the other watercolor attack? Hold on, I could literally just get it for you. This one? This is a $3 pen. It's a $3 blue ink pen. Got it from like Staples. I think it's like a, hold on, I can actually get you the exact brand. Pen Gear. Might have even been like Walmart. It's, really when it comes to pens, so long as it moves over the paper properly, you don't need to get anything crazy. I mean, I am the first person to tell you that a good inking pen will help you quite a lot. But, you know, with art fight attacks, I've just kind of been using what we have around if it's a fun color. And that's been working fine for me. It's also meant that I've been using up pens that were otherwise just kind of sitting and rotting, collecting dust. I know I said I was going to make these a little lighter because they're background assets, but I do actually kind of like the idea of the moon being like this very striking color. It was Pen Gear was the pen's name, pen brand's name. Goodbye refillable watercolor brushes for travel. I used to. Oh, see, I have the little one. I'm gonna get a square tip brush because this one's great for detail, but not so much for filling in larger space. Hold on, let me get the unicorn character back up. They have golden eyes. I'll get that chain at the same time, I think. Oh wait, captions are not broken, they're just not started. Thank you for the reminder. I keep almost having this paintbrush roll directly onto my page, which is scary. Captions. Thank you, Sniffles. I always forget to start them, I apologize. It is not for any lack of wanting them. Okay, cool, it's still working. Oh, my coffee almost dripped on it. Hold on. Trying to take a break from drawing. It's fun, much fun as I've had with ARTFIGHT. I'm struggling with comparison a lot. Thanks for stream. Of course. I mean, okay, maybe I can break you out of that habit, though. What is it specifically that you're comparing? Are you comparing your type of attacks? Or are you comparing your, you know, how many you've done? Because in both instances, you have to think of ARTFIGHT as a game. It's a team sport at the end of the day, right? If you are doing, you know, a large volume of attacks, but they're very simple attacks, even if you're just doing simple attacks, you're still scoring points. And that is benefiting the overall game, even if you feel that it's not, you know, stepping up or comparing to what other people are putting out. And if you're, you know, you haven't done enough, air quotes, attacks, because you're seeing what other people are putting out, you have to remember, first and foremost, this is my job. My job is art. So even though this is what I'm doing full time, and, you know, with some clauses, is like, there's been a death in the family recently, so I've been a little offline. But even so, I've only done 8 attacks, and that's with doing this all the time. Could think about it as practice. There's nothing to be ashamed of. No, exactly. Like, that's the thing. ARTFIGHT is largely what you need it to be. So if you have had fun and you don't want to do as many attacks as you see other people doing, then you don't need to, because that's not what you need. You know, originally I was going to do these trees kind of blacked out. I could still do that and maybe do the sky red instead. But this also looks very nice, so we'll see. That's kind of the fun thing with watercolor and ink, is that you can just kind of experiment and put stuff wherever, and it's just layers of color. Feeling a little evil today? You are? What's the evil in the air? I was gonna say I'm actually feeling I'm feeling regular and pleasant. Thank you for the advice, of course. I mean, I would want people to have fun with ARTFIGHT. It is meant to be fun, after all. I'm assuming that the hair probably has kind of a similar eye to Marigold, considering that's who cursed Marigold, but I'm going to put this to the side and work on the other one. Jolly Critter, it's more because, like, I've been getting to draw so much lately. I've been enjoying the freedom. That is still so much blue. I just want to do like a very gentle blue wash. That is not a gentle blue wash, that's fine. I could spread it out though. That will also work to my advantage. I do kind of want to do blue on the stomach as well, but maybe just not as harsh. Because that looks great. That's more what I'm going for. I also like the idea of kind of using the dry brush to make fur. You make me want to get back into watercolor. It's very relaxing. For whatever I was failing with colored pencils with, that Red was getting without much trouble, this relaxes me in the way that I think that does with him. Because when I tried colored pencil, I just got angry and was pressing too hard. But this is calming in the way that I feel he describes colored pencils being for him. Pitting all the characters you're attacking is such a sweet kind of evil. I was just thinking about how fun it'd be to get a group of friends to all gang up on people in a huge wave. So I'm going to tell you a secret. On Wednesdays during Art Fight, we do a stream called a Feeding Frenzy, where we find an artist who, they haven't been attacked yet all Art Fight. And we all go over and attack them at the same time. So if that sounds like fun, and you want to help gang up affectionately on someone, because it's nice at the end of the day, it's meant to be friendly, we're going to be doing that this Wednesday. I've been trying to procure people that have not been attacked yet, because I want to, I do it because I want Art Fight to be fun for everyone, and I know that even though it's a game about gifting other people art, there is still some fun in getting gifted art yourself, so it's a way for me to try and use my air quotes influence to give back to the community in a way that I can. Also, hold on, I saw a question, but let me put this down and then I can answer that. Do you have any advice for getting over the fear of practicing a new material and ruining a sketch you like? Yes. Because I literally wrote a journal entry about this exactly. Or really, technically, a headmate did, but I thought it was funny, so I will share. If you don't ruin the sketch, what happens with it? Right? Like, is it just going to sit and look pretty and do nothing? Then it remains a sketch forever. Sometimes an art piece needs to die in order for something interesting to be born. And also, importantly, you can always just trace it. Like, you can just retrace the sketch and then do it again. Hell, I've redone the same piece, because I tried colored pencils. Like I said, I'm not very good with colored pencils. That's more Red's strong suit. I have tried the same colored pencil piece no less than 3 times, and it's infuriating, but I've just been tracing it. I'll have to drop it in Wednesday. Sounds like fun. 5,000 farters. I don't know. If I understand the waste mindset, but first of all, I'm not capitalist enough for that. Second of all, if you don't waste the sketch, or if you don't, try the sketch, then it just gets wasted because... Irritating. How's the sketch for this done? Colored pencil. I see they're holding up pretty well watercolor. Actually, no, it was it's colored lead. It's uni-colored red lead. Also, hello, welcome in, Silly Sparrow. You can also trace sketch paper with wax paper and try again. That's what I've been trying to do to transfer. What if he wanted to give advice, but the car said no? It's genuinely infuriating. But no, like I said, otherwise, if you don't take the leap and waste the sketch, it's gonna get wasted anyway because nothing's gonna happen with it. It's just gonna sit and collect dust forever. Hello. I'm scratching my chair. Mitch McConnell died. Cheers, I'll drink to that. We gotta paint even better furry art now. I don't know. When did that happen? I am painting, so I can't exactly time check that, but I would love to know. "40 minutes ago. Thank fucking God. God bless. Happy Art Fight, everybody." Also, why is there Minecraft sounds in the background? Literally just because it's relaxing. Thank you for the gifted sub, Subpar Stir Fry. Wow, that's so beautiful. Gifted subs to celebrate. That's so sweet. Thank you. And also such a hilarious reason to give subs, but that is wonderful. 40 minutes ago, coming from a Canadian in chat, fucking crazy. Happy July. The strength of 4-Leaf Island stream blow him off the earth, I guess. That was so Paul Revere. Okay, that's pretty funny. I gotta make sure I leave the stomach a little lighter, since it is meant to be like a lighter gray. Guys, I'm having orange chicken for dinner. Life is so beautiful. Alright, hold on. Need a little more blue there. And then this back portion definitely needs some more because this fur is meant to be darker. And currently it's not really giving that. Luckily this will be a little easier to achieve. What's happening? I just hear Forrest go out in the other room. Why do you have a chopstick? Give that back. And then running noises. The concept of finding out Mitch McConnell died via is brain dead via a 4-Leaf Island stream. I don't know where else I would want to learn such news, actually. I'm not, like, online at all, so learning world events from my stream is actually really fun. It's kind of beautiful. Pandex, thank you for the gifted subs. The arm also needs to be a little darker. Although I guess, you know, that could be fade out in the back. What a beautiful world. Drawing with 4-Leaf Island streams, and I love ARTFIGHT. Thank you. That's very sweet of you. Minnow's popping the biggest bottles tonight. Alright, let's see. Did you hear the good tidings?
Oh, I was gonna ask how mad you'd be if I ate the rest of the watermelon.
Mitch McConnell died.
Do we know that for sure?
He's brain dead.
But, okay, how do we know that, and do we know that for sure?
That's what everyone, that's what Paul Revere in my chat has informed us of.
I can't see the chat because I don't have my glasses on. I was not prepared for this moment. Hang on. Who's... As of 40 minutes... But where? Where are you seeing this? Where are we getting this information?
More subs, wait, scanners, thank you for the gifted subs.
There's a hype train because of this. There's a hype train.
Yeah.
I need to know where did you see this?
5 more till goal? We haven't even set a goal yet.
Okay, so links aren't allowed. What news station? There are not many sources that say this. Daily... No, I saw Daily something. The Daily Beast.
Do you want to just look it up?
I don't... I need to look this up.
Alright, I love my fact-checking boyfriend.
Wait, you didn't answer. Can I have the rest of the watermelon?
Yeah, baby, I bought it for you. I have the bananas. Don't eat it like that. We can hear it from here. Don't do that.
What, my watermelon?
We heard that from here. That was nasty. I actually probably need the detail brush for this. I checked MSN and it said brain dead. Alright, so we're going to say brain dead because I don't want to spread fake news, but I would say brain dead is pretty solid cause for celebration regardless. Wait. Also, thank you for the bet, Cyan. Who said fat, cheeky boyfriend? I think you meant fact checking boyfriend. But-
Okay, I'm not seeing anything. I don't know what I just walked into. I'm not seeing anything except for like one source that's saying that
You kind of
he's
sounded
brain
like
dead.
you were from Boston for a second. Stop slurping, for the love of God,
I'm
please.
not open.
Wait, what? Sorry. People are saying he's brain dead.
Yes, baby, that's dead.
Yeah,
Like if you're brain dead, you're dead.
that's what I'm saying. I think he's dead. Because a lot of people are saying they're seeing stuff saying that he's brain dead.
Yeah, from like one source. There's no official update from like
Petnex, thank you for the gifted subs, and we made sub goal. That's crazy. Senator down.
the most I'm seeing is the Daily Beast, which somebody says, but that's not the most reputable.
Someone said MSN as well.
Let's see.
This is a hell of a thing to try painting during.
I'm not seeing anything from MSN.
God, the Minecraft noises scared me. I'm sorry. I would say it helps me focus, but I don't feel very focused right now.
Well, so the Daily Beast on MSN. So a lot of things they'll platform other articles.
I see.
And so there's a couple that are on MSN.com, but they're from other news outlets. And I'm only seeing the Daily Beast and OK Magazine, which to be honest sound like tabloids. So we cannot confirm or deny yet, unfortunately. But he's still obviously in the hospital.
I think he's dead. Do you think that someone's risking their entire career on saying Mitch McConnell dead before he's dead?
Dude, people say people are dead all the time.
Okay, well, you thought Kurt Cobain was alive yesterday.
I got confused. I got confused. You don't have to be rude about it.
It was a little funny, I'm not gonna lie. Not only did he think that Kurt Cobain was alive, he thought Kurt Cobain was alive and reading Yuri, which, to be fair, that's actually
stop.
more believable than him being alive.
Stop. It just said Nirvana approved of
You
like,
said Kurt Cobain.
the Yuri. Well, and then the article, and then I asked about it because I didn't think he was alive.
Yeah, the Dave Grohl thing. And to be fair, I do believe that Kurt Cobain would like Yuri. Like, genuinely, I believe that. Daily Beast source was Loomer, so like 50-50 chance of her kind of making shit up or legit leaking something. That's kind of hilarious.
Yeah, like, so we don't know.
Okay.
He's probably, if there have been no updates, he's probably, like, in critical condition, is my thought, but that doesn't mean he's dead.
Here's the hoping. Yes, it was about the Green Yuri announcement. Is that actually the official title, by the way? I've never read it. I know of it because of oofs and people who enjoy it, but I don't know much about it otherwise. Guys, let's make a prayer circle. Someone just came by playing Kendrick. The first person with good music taste today, and also the only person that did not have a loud-ass motor. His soul rapidly fluctuating between earth and hell. Wow. I love this stream. Right. The guy she was into wasn't a guy at all. But it's like a longer title, so people call it Green Yuri, I think. I don't want to assume. And also because the title is, or like the cover is green. Also, who is this guy and why do we want him dead? Republican senator, evil man. Oh, I just painted my phone wire. Well, it's a beautiful shade of red now. This is like a very dark red, and if I mess up, it's going to be very obvious because this is a white unicorn. But it's okay. My hand will steady my path. I haven't read it, but it does look really nice. Steel your resolve. See, my resolve can be strong, but my caffeine intake does make my hand shake a little bit. I think I've got this, though. Any Critter Suit updates? My updates are a bit sad. They're not bad updates, but they're just like, you know, this was probably going to happen. Because the head needed to be redone, it's not likely that Critter will be ready for Furrydelphia this year, which is okay. I would much rather the suit maker take her time than have it be rushed and then not turn out well. It's a little bit disappointing because I thought I was going to be able to fursuit for the first time this year. However, I really do love the suit so far. The new head base is done, but it's not, you know, it's not anything like crazy exciting. It's exciting for me, but like not visually exciting to show off. Why did it need to be redone? It was too small. Critter's head was way too small compared to its body, and it looked kind of pinheaded when the body was done. So she asked if I wanted it redone, and I said only if you want to do it. Thanks for helping me with the shading. Of course, of course. You know, once ARTFIGHT's done, we're back from our hiatus. I want to do more criticisms because they're both very satisfying to do, but also because I think there are more topics that I would like to cover that I have not yet. We've done a... Yes, dear? I thought he said my name. Forrest? Did you say my name? Oh, my bad. That, I might have heard baby when you said pee-pee. Oh, Spectral Tier, welcome in. Hello, Raiders. Kind of want to do another thing up here, but I don't think it actually needs it. Oh yeah, did it unpin? Thank you, Tay. Or wait, did my previous message unpin or was it incorrect? Oh, I pinned the wrong message. Thank you. Do you feel like you have better control with a shorter brush like this or a longer brush? I don't know, it's about equal. I don't know if I have more or less control with either. I think really the brush in general is just... can be a bit of a challenge just because of the bristles, but it's not terrible. Alright, I am going to do another blue wash, I think. Oh, goodbye, my brush. Just over the entire character, again, to help with that kind of gray color. But I'm going to try and spread it out. Didn't get any on the leg here, and that really needs it. Up here on the chest. The other thing is, I'm going to do inks with this, which I hope will help with some of the color definition. But this is what I can do for now. I was wondering why a random person was pinned. Apologies for that. Your watercolor is beautiful, by the way. Thank you. I am very unfamiliar with it, so I am doing my best to learn. But I'm having fun. And yes, you will get a suit reveal when it's ready. So what type of paper do you use for your watercolors? Watercolor paper? Sorry, I don't want to sound facetious either. That is genuinely... Ooh. Hold on. Forrest? Forrest? Can I please have a paper towel? Yeah. This is one hell of a first stream to catch. Welcome, welcome. Alright, hopefully... I accidentally got some brown in there and I wanted to get that out. But it was drying, so I just kind of... Sorry, we had a color mix emergency. I accidentally put brown paint in my blue. 20 minutes of chill drawing and then is Mitch McConnell dead? You know, I wouldn't have it any other way. Exactly the kind of stream that I hope to achieve regularly. It still looks a little bit brown, but I can always brighten it with another color in a second. It's also a bit hard to see with the with the water because it's reflective. Took me a decent amount of time a couple years ago to learn that watercolor paper is something that exists. Well, so funny story. Part of the reason that I had watercolor paper is because I bought this thinking it would work for colored pencils because I was like, oh, it's like a fun textured paper. Wrong. Watercolor paper hates colored pencils. Like, it eats them. It chews them up like a cheese grater. It was not fun, and it did not make pretty art. As a matter of fact, it was kind of infuriating. So I was like, well, now I have all of this watercolor pencil, or all these watercolor paper, so I should use it for something. So that's why I got watercolors. Toasty Chai, thank you for the resub. 28 months, nice. Here's to hoping for more watercolors and Republicans down. That would be beautiful. Now, I do have this plate. Kind of just been using it to store the brushes, but had no idea that paper could vary that much. I can tell you that the difference between what paper you use could be the difference of you liking or hating a medium. From experience. Actually, probably don't need this here. I move that. There we go. That's so scary killing them, the pencils. It's really not able to see critter if I move the phone, though. What other mediums do you plan to do for this art fight? Well, so I've already done most of the ones that I planned. The only one that I have left that... Actually, sorry. The only two that I have left that I plan to do that I haven't done yet are crayon, like just Crayola crown, and colored pencil. But otherwise, I've done alcohol markers, acrylic markers. I've done ink. I will be doing much more ink. I cannot do charcoal. Charcoal is the one I have a limit, and it's because of the texture is like painful for me. I feel like Selmer is a little bit more of a warm brown than this still. You reminded me to do art fight. I'm glad. Come join us. It's fun. Still maybe a little bit more red. Are you going to do an attack consisting of paper dolls? I already have done an attack consisting of paper dolls. That's part of what we use the alcohol markers for. That's a little better, although it's getting a bit purple. But maybe that will mix well with what we've got currently. And it looks like the chest has some of that darker fur color. This will clean up nicely with lines. The colors, when you put them down with watercolor, at least for me, they're sort of like a suggestion. I'm sure that as I practice, my accuracy will improve, but for the most part, it's just to get the colors down for you then to line afterwards. Let's see. And the variation is typically what makes them interesting. Just got attacked for the first time. It's so cute I low-key teared up. Wait, that's wonderful. And also, welcome in. The other thing that I like to do with these is I like to try and get fur colors. Or fur, like, texture, I guess. Looked in the Unicorn and She Rules. I was going to say I'm very excited. This one is coming along pretty swimmingly. This one I think is going to look really strong, especially with the ink down. Do you know when Lycas will be coming back from hiatus? no idea. I'm not in a rush because I want it to come back when I'm ready for it to come back, instead of it coming back badly. You've heard of the came back wrong trope. Now imagine your favorite webcomic comes back from hiatus, except the creator is depressed, and it comes back and it looks like shit. Not what I want to have happen. Alright, let's see how mixing these goes. Try with the red again, because that was like a nice purple color. The traditional ARTFIGHT attacks are so cute. I want to do one so bad, but my paper is currently in a whole other house. That was actually part of the grocery shopping trip that we had last week, is that we ran out of paper. Had watercolor paper, but no watercolors yet at that point in time, so I had to go get some things to draw with. Alright, let's see, let's get this back. The tail especially, you know, this tail is meant to be dark brown as well. This is funny because this is almost a more reddish brown. I think I needed it a little more blue. But the variation of colors is, in a way, kind of like part of the appeal of doing watercolor, I guess. I am going to include a little more blue. Morning from Taiwan, welcome in. And also, why is there Minecraft noises? The Minecraft helps me focus. It's my soothing Minecraft. Hopefully you can accept my soothing Minecraft. So, do you have the same design on your plate that are mine? Oh, like you're working on the same design. That's awesome. Actually, I might outline this area where the hand is, so it kind of looks like it's coming closer to the viewer by having the area around it be a little darker. Now it is going to also be outlined, which will help, but this is just a fun little way to do that. With color, at least. And I can add some more fur texture here. You know, I think the thing that's kind of relaxing about watercolors is that, like, again, it's not meant to be perfect. I've been choosing character designs that are pretty simple, you know, no patterns or anything like that. Although I did do my cat, who has patterns, so maybe I'm being cowardly and I can step up my game a bit and it's not going to be too much trouble. But part of the beauty of working with them is that you get like all this color variation. And so the imperfections kind of become part of what makes the piece appealing. On Tumblr you said you hated watercolors, so you haven't touched them in years. How are you feeling now? This is my second piece, technically second and a half, because, you know, this was also one that we're working on tonight. I'm enjoying them. I'm relaxed. It's definitely eerie doing something new on stream, but, you know, part of why we stream in the first place is to kind of challenge ourselves to do things that are otherwise kind of, you know, oh no, this is new, I'll never pick it up, I'll never try it. Trying to, ooh, that's fun. Oh, that's very fun. Hold on. You can get like a fur texture from it. Also, these are looking beautiful so far. Thank you. I also do need to paint the foot a little more, because the foot is darker than the stomach. The trouble is the sketch is getting eaten a bit by the color, but luckily I have a pretty good memory of what it looks like, so I'll be able to find it, or kind of reinstate it, I guess. Do you have any tips for first-time art fighters? Remember, it is a game you are meant to be playing, and use it as a chance to experiment with things that you might have been intimidated of or scared off of trying. Also, try to talk to people. Like, you know, you're not going to get bites every single time, but ARTFIGHT is a really good chance to make other friends who are artists. So I highly, highly encourage you to try to do that this year, if you can. This is the year for fun and experimentation, making friends. Exactly. What do you think of wax cracking videos? Do they relax you? Kind of. I'm much more, trying to think of like what ASMR I like. I like cafe ASMR, like where there's people like making drinks in the background. Part of that is because, you know, I worked at a cafe for years, and when I wasn't working, my boyfriend was usually working, and I would sit in the cafe while he worked. So that's also a bit of a nostalgic sound for me. Let's see, so I kind of want this to be darker up here, especially because this is where the darker fur is meant to be. I'm really enjoying the mix of like browns and blues on this. So the watercolors are coming along very nice. I cannot do watercolor. Well, so here's the thing. I didn't think I could do watercolor either. This is my second piece. I think maybe you have not yet done watercolor. That doesn't mean you can't, though. Why not try? Again, this is what ARTFIGHT is for, my friend. Also, speaking of trying things, God, there was a food that I tried recently that I really liked. I mean, I tried watercress today. I've never had watercress before, and it was pretty good. It was kind of minty, actually. I had it in hot pot. There was something else that I tried that I was surprised to have liked. It'll come back to me later, I'm sure, and it'll drive me crazy that I forgot it on stream. Alright, going to leave this here. Actually, that's a lie. I will do one last thing. I'll do the eye before moving back to the unicorn. And it looks like the mouth is pink. So it'll probably be a mix of these two. Why do you not seem to like to use chestnut to represent your boyfriend? Oh, I mean, to be fair, I do. I just use chestnut when it comes to stuff for streaming. Chestnut is my boyfriend's, like, streaming mascot. I hope that makes, like, that's evident, but, in the same way that Critter is my streaming mascot, Chestnut is his. He has his own fursona, which is the Snoopy. He did stream. He has not streamed for a while, but he's coming back to it, or that is the plan. What character are you painting? The characters that I'm working on are pinned, so that if you'd like to go do attacks on them, you may. Hope the Forest eventually makes a chestnut rig and starts streaming again. You don't have to hope too much. That's genuinely in the works. I just need to do the art for it. It's part of the reason for being able to take a hiatus being nice. Wait, thank you for the Ko-Fi support. I don't know who that was from. Sorry, speaking of, I was working on, this is, if I finish my watercolors, I'll continue working on my strip from earlier that I've been working on today. Well, I don't have a yellow pen, so I've been using orange for yellow, ironically. So I'm going to be doing that. Let's see. What else is missing for your design? I think I need to do more of the red on the feet. It would probably... I should probably do this with the detail brush. More physical comics. I don't know how to say... I feel... I grew up doing physical comics, like, my entire childhood. It was kind of my dream, too, is I wanted to be a comic artist. I studied, you know, how to do physical and traditional comics. And then I gave up on that because of not thinking it was possible. And digital was easy to carry around, so I did digital a lot, even though I didn't think it was going to be my job. So, kind of approaching comics from the back and reapproaching the way that I thought I was going to do them is kind of, it's been interesting. One, because I forgot how fast I am with traditional comics. Like, I finished a 4-page comic in like 2 hours, whereas, you know, digitally that would have taken me forever. But I also enjoy the process more. There's something nice about, like, tangibly working with the materials that I don't get out of that I don't get out of digital comics. I don't hate digital comics, but they just haven't been, like, enjoyable recently, and so I've been doing a lot more traditional. Do you like Peanuts or Calvin and Hobbes? I like both. I actually read all of Calvin and Hobbes in a 2-day sitting once as a kid, and then Peanuts I used to cut out and collect. That's actually what that strip that I'm working on is about. Is that I used to cut out and collect pictures of Snoopy as a kid. Oh, can you send the Minecraft video in the background? Sure. Give me a second. Let me wash the pen. Man, I'm the opposite. I'm so much faster with digital. The thing is, you can get a cleaner look from digital, and I can do that too. Like, I'm faster with digital in the sense that what I can do with it, I'm faster. But I think I'm more satisfied with the process of doing traditional. All right, let's see. Where's Painted Clovers? Here you are. Sorry, I missed that at first. If magic was real, I would manifest you 50 yellow pens. Thank you. Also, Comic Spotted, what you have so far looks great. Thank you. The only thing... I do kind of want to do... I think I'm going to do red for the sky, and then have this fade down to black. So... that means I'm going to need more of this. I do kind of like having some of the trees with like a red glow to them. So I may keep that as is. And then just, you know, use inks for the darker portions of them. Sorry, I have my headphones back on and listening to the Minecraft noises. This person is collecting a lot of whatever. Brown pens ink would be great for you. I do actually own a few brown ink pens, if I'm not mistaken. Alright, let's see. And then using that as kind of like a glow could be interesting. Again, I'm kind of just experimenting. I have no idea how this is going to turn out. Go my random bullshit collection. I have no idea what they're even grabbing. I'm trying to think of what makes this noise in Minecraft. This is the hair. Which means the trees will be coming back from here. And I'm also going to grab some yellow. Alright, I'm like morbidly curious what they're getting now. Ah, spiderwebs. Spiderwebs. Sounds like sweet berries or deep slate. Yeah, the new spiderweb sounds. Understood. I kind of want to use this red to even shade the legs. This might be a mistake. We're going to find out. But if the character has no definition, they're going to kind of start getting eaten by the background. I also realized I forgot to do the red on the horn and the eyes. Really love your art, by the way. Huge inspiration. It's so cool to see your process. Thank you. Genuinely, thank you. I was going to say, this isn't my usual process because I don't usually do watercolor, but I'm enjoying it, so that might change. That's kind of the thing, is when you start doing something you don't usually do, and then you go, wait, I kind of like this. Where... So the tail doesn't have anything on it, although it is like a little darker at the end, so I will fill that in. So first time being able to catch stream due to time zone difference. Hello, welcome in. Hello, and I hope you enjoy your stay. I'll become so happy if watercolor becomes a mainstay. It's good for focus, I found. I'm curious how it will translate over to comics. I still kind of want the hair to be looking at Marigold, so I'm going to be doing that. Ah, yes, also. did want to have some fireflies. That was before I added the hair into the composition, but I think that there's still time to do that. All my texts so far have had oomphy in the title. That's so beautiful. You're inspiring me to take out my gouache. I don't know how to say it's gouache, I think, right? I've never done that before. That's one medium I have yet to brave. I am going to use the detail brush for the eyeliner. Also, Buzz Arts, thank you for the sub. Let's see. Probably should have done that starting from the other side, but that's fine. And then the horn. The horn, I could almost have a fun effect with it, like kind of getting darker as it goes down. Or sorry, lighter as it goes down, but I'll play with that in a second. Also, I can zoom back in. I don't know why I was so far zoomed out. I see you're using a new stream thumbnail. Looks great. So I actually shift them up every month, or at least that's the goal now. It's so that I can feature a new artist each month that I stream. Last month was by Kelpcheap. This month is by owlelight. But I try to find illustrators that do like full illustrations so that I can show off their work. It's just, again, it's like a little thing I can do to kind of feature someone. They did such a good job with that piece. It is really beautiful. Oh, Harbor, do you like the cat wheel now? We have a cat wheel. That was my fun purchase this month. All right, hopefully this works. So long as it doesn't bleed, it's a success. I might have a little bit too much water, but I think otherwise that worked out. Now they can go hamster mode? Exactly. It's also because Buggy has been a bit of a menace lately, and so I'm trying to give him a better outlet for his energy, because he's just a little kid. Like, cats are not evil, they're just usually bored. Ooh, that was not dry. Oh wait, but I did learn that I could do this. Hold on. I don't know when I realized I could do this, but it has helped me many a time. That's honestly not terrible. That's easy. That's fixable. But I'm gonna let that dry so I don't touch it and drive myself insane. This one, I almost wonder if it's ready to line. I could do a little more blue up at the top. Or really these flowers, like I could add more of them. Just something for the background, you know. Growing up, we had these plates in our house that had a very similar flower pattern. They almost looked like watercolor too, except they were purple instead of blue. All right, so here's the thing. I don't know where my inkwell pen is, so I'm going to use my Micron pen instead. But I do enjoy lining with this one, so this is really not a loss in my book. Trouble is, there is a little bit of a cast shadow right now because of the time of day that it is. But I will survive. Like I said, if I get 2 attacks done, then I'm going to do comic work as a treat. So hold on. I can zoom in so you guys can see this a little better. If the wire doesn't get in the way. So I miss watercolor. I used to make art only with watercolor when I was younger. Maybe I should get back into it. I think anytime you step away from a medium for a while, regardless of the medium, you should come back to it to see how much you've improved, because I think you'll find that a lot of art informs itself. So, you know, if you've been doing digital for a while, you should step away and do traditional and see if your time doing digital art has helped you with things like composition or color combination. Similarly, if you've been doing traditional for a while, you might want to go back to digital and see what your skills have helped you learn and if that can improve your digital art at all. I don't think that there's like a single medium that's not worth learning because of that, because they'll all teach you something new, whether it be patience or motor skills or diligence, what have you. So there is like a little bit of an under eye line. And I did forget the eyebrow, but that's okay. It's an easy fix. There is like defined nostrils, right? Yeah, okay, there is. Oof, sorry, my wrist is itchy. Lines are, ironically, my least favorite part of the digital art process, but my most favorite part of the traditional art process. Couldn't tell you why. I mean, I could try. I think there's more character to traditional lines for me than there is for digital lines. Like some part of the soul gets lost when I do digital lines. Maybe because there's too much to clean up, or like too much ability to clean it up. Oh, thank you for the stretch. Unfinished line art on watercolor looks so weird in a good way. Oh, like this part. I see, I see. Well, thank you. Thank you for weird in a good way. Also, hello. I just wanted you to know that your videos helped me so much with learning fundamentals that I struggled a lot with. I struggled a lot to understand myself. I'm finally happy with how my art looks. Thank you so much. I'm very, very glad to hear that. If I could give people one thing, I want to help you like your art. Not get it to a point where it's perfect, because here's the thing. There will always be something that you can improve with your art, no matter how long you've been drawing. But if you can look at your art and you can see what it has and what value it has, you will grow so much faster because you'll be able to look at your work objectively. And being able to view your work objectively will allow you to see where you can improve without feeling bad about it. And that's something I really want to help people understand. I get this. I don't love doing digital line art. Well, and so it's part of the reason that I've been branching out, is because it's like, if I'm not enjoying art, then something needs to change, because art itself is not the problem. I'm the person wielding the tool after all. I almost like the pink in the mouth, and I'm wondering, I don't have any red pens, but I'm almost wondering if I like use my... What could I do? What could I do to get that? I mean, I do have a red pen. Hold on, where's my muck paper? I had it. Oh, this is a nice piece of paper. I have a red pen. Oh wait, I think this is orange too. I just picked up orange. I could use a red colored pencil. I wonder if that would get a similar effect. Let's find out. Because I have these guys. I hated line art, so I just stopped doing it entirely, and that's when I started improving. You know, I think that, actually a mutual of mine was talking about this on Tumblr, how art can become so boring if you believe that there's like a correct way to do it. And unfortunately, especially on like the internet's landscape right now, there kind of is becoming a correct way to do it in the sense that people are shaming you if you don't do art the correct way. But not only does that just like kind of completely destroy the incentive to experiment or try new things, it also isn't true, and it makes art feel very corporate. So the second that I started feeling that way about my own art, and, you know, feeling scared to try new things because I was like, oh, well, what if this breaks what people are expecting of me? I was like, all right, hold on. That's... Not only is that ridiculous, I also hate thinking like this, so something's got to break. And I'll break it myself if I must. Alright, hold on. So are you planning on going back over this with watercolors again after finishing the line art? I'm trying to remember if that's something you could do with microns or not. I tried that in an experimental piece, and it did not work. So, no, I will not be doing that. The color, if I add any more color, it will be with other materials that are not wet, because microns do not like water. People forget that art is for fun expression and not to get internet points. Well, and I think, unfortunately, it all comes back to capitalism will take anything that can be fun and, you know, can be a human experience, and will try to get you to strip the humanity of it so that it sells better. You have to find ways to directly resist feeding into that, because you'll start doing it without even realizing you're doing it. You know, I don't know many people that go out of their way to say, like, oh boy, I love capitalism, I love selling my soul. But because people like to eat and stay alive, you end up falling into it, even in instances you don't really need to. The sheep noises. Every time I go on TikTok or social media in general, I just get upset now. The amount of hateful people that take up the internet and use their hate for views is so sad. It's part of the reason I stopped playing. I mean, frankly, as soon as I realized that everything that someone does to be cruel to someone else is just for posts, like, literally just because they want attention, and that's the fastest way to get people's attention, I stopped giving it to them. Doing ARTFIGHT is eliminating my perfectionism so much. That is also why I tell people to play. Because even if you struggle to like your art, you will do a piece for someone and they will get so excited for it. It gets hard to hate it. You know, I can't tell you to love it and think it's perfect and there's nothing to want to improve, but you can start to see the value in something even when it's not perfect. And that's the best lesson that you can learn from ARTFIGHT. Thank you for having anti-capitalism realness. I have two... Here's the thing. If we were to start getting into it, there would be blood. But trust, that has always been my mentality about things. All right. Now I do kind of want to have that highlight. Oh, this character does have brown eyes, though. All right, I wonder if I can use the pencils to do that. I like blood. You should get into it so there's blood. I enjoy you, Amir. Have you gotten attacked yet? Oh yes, quite a lot. Please attack a baby artist. I appreciate everyone that has been attacking and doing attacks for us. And I am going through and thanking people for them. But if you want to draw an attack for someone, please go attack a younger or beginner artist or someone that's playing Art Fight for the first time. I promise we're cared for. Also, I noticed that my sketches were basically line art, so I put I put off black over it, and it's line art, all right. You know, that's another one that, at least for digital art, we started to realize is that, like, if you do such clean sketches already, and you reduce them 5,000 times, you're kind of sucking a lot of the character out of it, which is part of the reason I like traditional art in general. On it, Passo 7. You heard the creature attack a baby? I did say that. The villager noises. I really like when there's like Minecraft noises in the back, or like Minecraft ASMR in the background, and then every so often you just hear like a fucking Minecraft villager. I wonder... No, I won't do that for this attack. I was considering pulling out one of my brown pens and using that for like the things that were in the background. But I think I'll just stick with the micron for today. Keep things simple. I've just been hitting Discover Random User to find targets. Also, does anyone use crayons for their art? I know that one of my headmates plans to for ARTFIGHT this year, so come... I can't tell you when that's going to happen. I wish I could tell you predictively when that would happen. But if you come to streams, we might be doing crowns one night. Alright, hold on. I love doing claws, or like little clawed hands like this. The shapes are so much fun. Happy ARTFIGHT, welcome in. I hope to be as chill as a streamer as you in the future. It took me a while to get here. I was definitely a bit of a nervous wreck when I first started streaming. I think I had a talking disease. I like would never shut up. But after you realize it's okay to just kind of take moments to pause, especially when you're doing art, it gets a lot easier. Although I would not have gotten to this point without friends who essentially grabbed me by the shoulders and told me as much. All right, I'm gonna keep the fur texture because I actually quite like the brush being used here to communicate that, so I might mimic it. ARTFIGHT is my hope core. I did my first revenge, and now I'm more motivated to do attacks. It's beautiful. That's fantastic. I'm also really glad to hear that. Like I said, I love ARTFIGHT, so I'm always happy to hear people getting into it. Getting into it, not just like they're playing it for the first time, but like also getting into the spirit of it. I can't believe our attack rate has gone up like so crazy just by doing traditional attacks. I mean, I can believe it, but it's astounding how much so. Alright, I need to see the foot, and the foot is kind of like hidden. Can I like scroll over there, please? Alright, or not. So you hate me? I was planning an attack and I followed this guy, right? He got me before I was done with my piece. How did I know? That actually happened to Lemmy. She was working on an attack for someone, and then before she could even start putting pen to paper, they did her frog sona first. Permission to share ARTFIGHT usernames so we can find artists that haven't been attacked. You are welcome to do that. Like I said, just make sure that you type out the full message of like my ARTFIGHT username is. Okay, I almost gave this character an extra toe. That would have been bad. My ratio got nuked. I missed my 50%, it's down to 15. I have been drawing as fast as I can. My ratio is 2%. there was simply no hope for me. I was going to die from the very beginning. It doesn't mean I won't still try. I will fight as valiantly as possible, but there was just simply no hope. You know, the other thing with traditional inks, and I could not tell you why this is. Maybe it's because there's no undo button. I am so much faster with this. I don't know if it's just because, you know, the medium requires it. Because you do need to be a little bit speedy. It's not like you can go over the same line over and over again. I mean, you can, but it'll kind of look like shit if you do. But I just feel like I can actually get the pieces done. Now, 0 of 20 attacks and 49 defenses. I'll never get out of the 20%, 30% ratio. It's okay, we can... What if we stayed there together? What if we held hands in this beautiful world? Where is my brush pen? This is probably the closest I'm going to get to a brush pen. That's fine. And I am going to do some lighting here on the nose. Probably some areas of the hair as well. It'll look nice. I do really like this design. I meant to attack this character last year, actually. And then just didn't get to it. So I'm glad to this year. But the more I draw it, I'm like, well, I want to keep doing that. That wasn't perfect, but it's fine. Oh yeah, you can join ARTFIGHT right now. You can join the entire month. You can even join once the event's over, you just won't be able to play. But if you were looking at this and thought, huh, this looks fun, it's a shame that I didn't join, that's not true. You can join ARTFIGHT right now, and it is still possible to play the entire month. You can even join the very last day of ARTFIGHT. Gotta kind of have this filled in a bit more. Otherwise, it's just gonna like be this little off pop of black. It's still kind of looking that way. That's better. I'm really enjoying the combo watercolor and ink. I think it brings out the best in both mediums. Like when I've tried to color inks with a colored pencil before, some people can do it perfectly fine. I don't know what it is, what my damage is with it, but they just don't get along. Maybe it's just because I don't like colored pencil, which is also completely possible. But this, I feel like, brings out the strong suit in the watercolor, which is like the color variation. And with the inks, it gives the inks something to encapsulate, but not in a way that they feel so rigid that they're stressful. Like when I do comic inking, because it needs to be pretty exact, I'm still quick with it, but it's a little more stressful than this, where it's like, well, as long as you get the general shape, it's still going to look pretty good. Your drawing reminds me of that one Ghibli dragon. You know, I've never actually... No, I'm lying. I have seen that movie. I recently saw that movie. Spirited Away. I'd never seen it before. It's my boyfriend's favorite Miyazaki movie. Like, my favorite has always been Howl's. Like Howl's Moving Castle. But I did really like Spirited Away. It's probably completely predictable that I like Howl. I like it that he's a bit dramatic. I kind of want to grab the blue pen and use that in the background. It's not as light as I was hoping, but it still gives kind of the effect I was going for. I could do some more with these in the background. And these back here. Your design is so cute. This is, if you're talking about the character I'm drawing, this is not mine. But if you're talking about Critter, thank you. Sorry that Critter... Guys, how long has Critter been frozen? I can't see how frequently my VTuber model is getting frozen because I'm drawing. And I think it gets blocked by my recording camera. Everyone's so inquisitive about the Minecraft sounds. You know what? I honestly think that it's enrichment for you guys. Investigate my Minecraft noises, boy. Or girl, or they. But I'm closing this up, and this should be one attack down. So, it's pretty solid. I was thrown off because I was hearing Minecraft but not seeing any Minecraft. Yes, it's soothing for me. Soul soothing. I did forget to do the little claw detail here, but that's not too hard. There we go. So that one's done. I suppose I could put it up here. On display. And yes, I think there are thunder noises in Minecraft. So now it's time for this one. This one I'm interested by. I think I could probably line this at this point. I don't see anything that's like striking me as like super needs color put down. Does Forrest have a favorite animal in the aquarium? Shrimp, if I'm not mistaken. Thank you for asking, though. I do want to do something to kind of designate that the hair is glowing. How long is this live going to be? Well, usually I go for about 3 hours, so until 9 o'clock. Got 3 attacks. I got like 3 attacks I'm working on at the same time because I keep losing focus. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Frankly, we are also doing that. I think there's these 2 that I started today, and then there's like a stack of 2 more that are for another guy to work on, not me. And then a bunch of like thumbnails and stuff too. Thumbnails, you know, they can be loose because they can get edited. Actually, I kind of want to use the Sharpie for this. I don't want to kill this pen. Sharpies are much better for filling stuff in. I'm surprised you do watercolor first, then line art. If you don't, then the ink bleeds. You have to line over top, because if you put water onto ink, it is not going to stay in the same place. As a matter of fact, it will get blown out. It's kind of the opposite of how you would expect. You know, it's the opposite of what you do for digital art, but for me, I find the process pretty relaxing. Are there people each of you want to attack individually? Like, Person A's character is an interested... Oh, yes. Genuinely, we have different bookmark folders. Sometimes we swap, or we, like, take on something from another guy's folder. But we do actually genuinely have our own bookmark folders. Me and White kind of share hers. I just kind of draw whatever. Rogue agent. See, this is what happens when you paint over the ink, though. I did kind of want to fill in a little bit more, but I think I got impatient. Also, I think captions broke. Hold on, I can fix them. Give me 1 second. Yeah, it might be too soon for inks. Because I want more color. Let me refresh those captions. Especially on the ground. Like, I do like the ground around the character being white, because it kind of implies like a glow, which I think is fun. But up here, it needs some... I do kind of also want the hair to be... Like, do I want a glow, or do I want it to be, like, fading into the background? Are you going to ink the rabbit with red? I was thinking that, yes. And then... to have, it kind of coming out of the landscape. I'm sort of figuring out as I go how I want to do this, though. We'll see. I've been doing ARTFIGHT for like 8 years, and I have to do at least a couple attacks. I'm going to join ARTFIGHT late this year. I'm sad work has been kicking my butt. I hope that you get to do a few, though. So hold on. Headphones have to come off again. They're squeezing my head. Oh, also, Party Raccoon. It depends. Some things are muscle memory. On the other hand, no. Some things I genuinely cannot do that others can, and it pisses me off. I've said before that colored pencils and I do not get along, except one of my headmates loves colored pencils, and I keep trying to figure out how he does it, and it's irritating me because I have no idea. I have no idea what he does for them to look good. When I try them, I feel like I kind of it looks like I'm battering them. Alright, let's see. Try inks now. The other thing that's fun is to combine the mediums, like to do a little bit of both. This is the one instance in which I can kind of understand how to use colored pencils, because it's basically just filling in the space that you're not with the others. The hair is the part I'm not sure how I want to do. Maybe it doesn't need to be perfectly consistent so long as it looks good, though. I noticed you work a lot with black and white, too. It's the easiest for me to understand. Like, I can use color, but I think that because I enjoy something with really strong values, working with black and white helps that, and then adding the color kind of secondarily. I don't really think in color as much as the others do, I've noticed. I tend to think much more in terms of, like, black and white, and then color is like decor. still have no idea how you figure out blocking for those thick inked sections. Usually I just like draw the blocking in so that I'm not trying to do it with this marker. Also because Sharpie will give you a very blobby shape and it will make your kind of shadow sections feel less confident. It's one of the reasons I do it with this. I kind of want to line the unicorn in red. It might be crazy, but I think that would look nice. It would also give that kind of ethereal feel versus it feeling like it's becoming part of the background. Here is my red pen. Yeah, this is actually the red one. I almost thought for a moment I was grabbing the oh, and then the eye is something I did forget. Lining both in red would be in an interesting way to signify their relationship to each other. I was thinking that too. I was thinking that as well. And then a slightly lighter version for the sclera. That's how it's pronounced. Do you have any tips for photographing physical attacks? My photos always turn out bad, even in natural sunlight. How are they turning out bad? Because my advice is going to be different depending on what your answer is. Because if they're coming out blown out, then you need to have a muted natural light. So, you know, you want to be near a window but not directly underneath it. If they're coming out too dark, then sometimes you just need to edit the photo in the actual like camera's photo editor. Which is not too hard. Usually you just need to make the contrast either stronger or a little more balanced and up the brightness of it. It's actually much easier to work with a photo that's like a little too dark. Colors are washed out, yeah, you need muted light. You need to step away from the window, but still be close enough by it to see that there's light. I think the texture of the colored pencil adds to this too. How long have you been posting your art? I've been sharing art online since I was, I want to say 10? But I've been drawing for basically as long as I can remember. And for reference, I am going to be 28 in a month. I have the same colored pen. These do work very nicely. Slash streaming? I've only been... Okay, well, I say only, but I've been streaming for about 7 years now. But not consistently. I've only been consistently streaming under this moniker for... I think 3 years? That's, oh wait, sorry, 2 months. I forgot August. I forgot August existed. I kind of wish I had done the lines with this red, but you live and you learn. That sounds right. I've been here for almost 2.5 years, so it must be 3. I think I started in 2024, or like the late part of 2023, and then kind of kicked off in 2024. Does this character have any fluff, like, on their legs? A little around the feet. Also, thank you for the stretch. It's interesting to me how many people ask things like, how long have you been doing art? I feel like most of us have been drawing since, like, forever. See, what's interesting is that's actually not true for Lemmy. Lemmy only started drawing as a teenager, and I would argue that she's, like, one of the most talented artists that I know. Not talented as in she was, like, born with natural talent. Like, she just works very hard, and, you know, studies a lot. So I often like to tell people it's not how long you've been drawing, but how long you've been intentionally studying how to draw. I don't like this idea, and not to say that this is what you were implying either. I just try to get people out of the mindset that it's like something about how long you've been going. It's much more about your intentions and how hard you work. You can achieve most things artistically if you're willing to put in the effort. I love the pose you picked for this attack. Thank you. I thumbnailed this one pretty early on because I wanted to do the character justice, and I think I've done so. I would hope so. I roll really quickly. I would be so honored to get such a beautifully crafted traditional work. I'm trying to do more traditional this year. Not trying to do more, I'm basically doing only traditional this year. But because I want to practice it, and also because, you know, I heard I do not go to the horrible land of Twitter because I love myself. But I heard people were talking about how on Twitter there was like people complaining about getting traditional attacks. And ever the guy of hold my beer, hearing that, I was like, all right, interesting. I wonder if they're only saying that because traditional is like traditionally done by, you know, younger or beginner artists or people that don't have access to digital tools. So I wanted to kind of beat back at that reaction. See, your first mistake was going to Twitter. Fun fact, I didn't go there. Twitter comes to me very often. I will be streaming and someone will say, did you hear this thing that happened on Twitter? And I go, no, because I don't use Twitter. But then I hear it anyway. It's like this unwanted child that keeps coming back to me. Leave it to Twitter to completely miss the point of ARTFIGHT every single year. Like clockwork, they miss it. That's actually one of the reasons why when people tell me that they're scared to join ARTFIGHT because they see how people talk about it, I'm just sitting here like, I need to ask you right now, where are you getting your information about ARTFIGHT? Because if it's TikTok or Twitter, you know, there's some parts of TikTok that they're just artists that are having fun. They're fine. I still don't really love TikTok, but, you know, it's hit or miss with that one. But Twitter, just do not... I'm going to need to buy those pens. These are a Sharpie and a pack of pens from Walmart that was like a $9 pack of pens for $5. I swear, they're not that fancy. You can make pretty good art with pretty inexpensive materials. Imagine getting free art and complaining because it was made by a beginner. Genuine loser behavior. I do say, as much as I love artists, the one thing that artists love more than making art is complaining. You have to think about it. We're a bunch of people that spend a lot of time by ourselves. We are the least socialized group of hobbyists, maybe outside of video game players. It is no wonder that people fight as much as they do. In any sense of the word, it is no wonder that there is fighting as frequently as there is in the art community. Especially when you take into account how, because art is a very like solo activity, you know, you're not really spending a lot of time considering other people. Speak for yourself about being unsocialized. I would argue that I'm pretty well socialized, but not because of art. It's because of the other hobbies that I keep. Oh, I almost forgot the nostril. Multiplayer games are more fun. This is fair. Need to adapt the two cakes mindset? Oh, please do. Please do. The two cakes mindset will save you, especially from a lot of ailments that I see plague online artists. I think what I'll do is I will use the red pen to show the areas of shadow. What is the two cake mindsets? Oh, it's that to an artist, you may compare yourself to other artists. But then to a consumer, it's just like, oh boy, there are two cakes on the table. So you might be seeing other people's artworks and going, ugh, why would anyone ever like mine when there's this really good piece of art right here? But to anyone that is looking for art, they're just happy that there's more art. That's the mindset. Is getting over this competitiveness that you feel with other artists, because you have to realize that most people are just happy that more art exists. Are you American? I forgot. Unfortunately. So hold on, I keep grinding onto my elbow, which is terrible for it. I have Eevee here at least to help, but it's not doing all that much. I think this may be approaching the point where I like how it looks. Still not a fan of the black hash marking here, but again, what can you do? Explaining self-love to an American. So imagine two hamburgers. Okay. Okay, that one's pretty funny. You got me with that. Let's see, claws. This is pretty much done then. Also, did you see the new Madoka movie trailer? No, I have not, although I've been hearing about updates to the Madoka movie. Frankly had kind of given up hope that we were ever going to get it. So I'm glad to hear that that it's still in the works. Keep saying I'm done, and then I'm like, well, maybe just some more hash marking here. That's the secret to ARTFIGHT, is that they get you to enjoy drawing more. How goes ARTFIGHT? Pretty well. Finished 2 attacks. I finished both the attacks that I sketched tonight. Let's see, how can I show these both off at the same time? Will my camera fit it all? Yeah, there we go. I would say that that was a pretty successful... I did finish both. I can wash off my my brushes now. Critter's so cute when it's squinting. Actually, I moved it over too much. I was gonna say, let me wash my brushes for a moment, and then I can go to comics again. I love the hands on the dragon. That was the most fun for me to do. The hand paws were very, very fun. Just finished my first attack. That's fantastic, and congratulations. I have a bit of an insane rate right now because of doing traditional, but I'm very proud of everyone that's getting their attacks done. I just finished mine too? That's awesome. Let me see. I can show off my other watercolor from the night before. This was my first watercolor piece that I did. I had not done watercolor for years, and I think it actually turned out pretty well. I keep like scooting things over. Oh, I have paint on the top of the palette I should probably clean off before I close, or else I'm going to have a very red colored yellow block. Is stream ending after you finish the ARTFIGHT piece? Honestly, no. I'm going to probably do comics because I finished both my ARTFIGHT pieces and I have a traditional comic that I want to work on. I'm just going to be cleaning up my desk while chatting with you all for a second. I need to use a different paper. My sketchbook will not hold up to these acrylic markers. I'm going to tell you right now, if you're struggling to use a traditional medium, there are two things that may be the case. Some of it's practice, some of it's just like recognizing the skill. But your paper type does actually matter and will make you really, really not like a medium that you might actually enjoy otherwise. The other thing that I'm considering is that I could touch this up digitally and change this black and make it red. I don't think it needs it. I think the contrast is nice, but if I wanted to do anything digitally to this, that's one thing I might do. Also, the feeding frenzy is not tomorrow. The feeding frenzy is on Wednesday. I was just getting people I was just getting people's input early. Thanks to your streams, I now play Minecraft long plays while I draw, and it's so nice. I'm telling you, my little sister, spending years playing Minecraft while I was studying, did something to my brain, and now the fastest way to get myself to lock in is just play Minecraft noises in the background. Alright, let's see. I'm gonna need this pen. Got my brushes. And I think I'm gonna take the water off the desk, and I'm putting it on the ground, and I'm kind of scared I'm gonna regret this. But so long as the cats don't come ripping around here, it should be fine. So Feeding Frenzy is a type of stream that we do where we find an artist that has not yet been attacked all of ARTFIGHT, and we all attack them at the same time, so that everybody gets an attack and everybody has a good art fight. I fear you should go put it in the kitchen. It's fine. Maybe what I'll do is I'll put it over on a desk, so at least it's up off the ground. But it's basically just a way of assuring that everybody has a good art fight and that no one gets left out, and also a way for us to all do something together. So I'm going to hide the tuber for just a second, just so that I can go do that, and not have Critter go frighten me. I don't know what it is with that desk, but the cats don't really like getting up onto it, so they will be safe there. For the first time, you've been handling watercolor like a professional. These are so nice. Thank you. I feel like I've seen... Oh, actually, hold on. I can show one thing I did that I was happy with. If I can find it. Here it is. It's funny, because I think that... So this was actually my very first time using watercolor. I did my cat Buggy. It was very quick, too. It wasn't like meant to be anything all that detailed. But I actually think that the Buggy that I did was one of the best pieces that I've done with watercolor yet. Sorry, if anything, it's something to work towards, to do something that I like as much as it's Buggy. Where's the goober? I'm coming back. I'm just getting the desk situated. Also, hold on. New follower who's been keeping up since ARTFIGHT started. What's your user team? I love your model and I would love to try and draw them. My username is 4leaf Island. There's actually a little command that if you do !AF on here, it will take you to my ARTFIGHT, or like it'll send the link. You painted Buggy with watercolor? Is that pet safe for... Okay, that's pretty funny. Have you thought about mailing the traditional pieces? If people are interested, I would do that. I have talked to a few people about whether or not they'd want them, but not everybody. Alright, so these I'm going to leave off to the side so that I can scan them. This has already been scanned. And the Buggy doesn't need to be scanned. I just gave the Buggy to Forrest. I still love that Buggy. I think the Buggy is probably one of the better things. I need paper underneath this. Here's my clipboard. One of the better things that I've done. Traditionally, at least. Let's see. I'll probably bring this out a little farther since I'm standing now. And there we go. gonna move the mic. Sorry if you're hearing mic touching noises. All right. And the orange pen. I think this page is basically almost lined. I have the panels to do. And all the speech bubbles are done. There's a few places to fill in ink. And then this one. Oh, welcome back, Snowfog. I was reading scans of a book by the artist of Scott Pilgrim, and I found out he does his panels before he does anything. He does his panels and he does his speech bubbles. And I was looking at that, I'm like, that is so smart to do. That I really should have been doing that this whole time. Also, it didn't Aspen. This was a script that was actually written before that change, which is part of the reason. Sorry, I'm getting force fem tonight because I'm using this. I'm using the Cinnamoroll ruler because that's all we have. But this script was written before that, so. I think I fucked that. Oh no, it's fine. It's this panel. I was like, I may be in danger. Blanking on his name? Wait a minute, isn't the guy that does Scott Pilgrim Brian Lee? I don't want to be a liar. That's not perfect. Actually, wait, use shadow to my advantage. Also, I'll see you later, Cobbledandestite. If using Sanrio character products force femmed you, I would have put she, her pronouns in my bio years ago. I say that whenever I give Forrest his shot, and I give him a Sanrio band-aid, because that's what Angel keeps around. I say, sorry, I have to force fem you, and he's like, it's okay. He insists on getting band-aids every time he gets a shot. He said he says it makes him better. And it makes it not hurt. I was like, okay. If this helps you, if this helps you. Brian Lee O'Malley. Is he Irish? I know he's Canadian. Shit. All right. Let me do it again. I suppose I could use whiteout. Or technically, that might work better, actually. I'm nervous to start my tee shots. He's of Korean and Irish descent. Okay, okay. Good evening, Critter. I finished my second art fight attack and I'm really happy. That's awesome. Do you allow us sharing our art fights? Yeah, you're more than welcome to. Also, how's the watercolors? They're done. I actually finished both of the watercolor attacks that I was doing. So I'm working on inks now. I'm gonna do, whenever you fill in areas with like a brush pen, I would highly recommend tracing the outline of the areas that you don't want to go past, so that when you do fill them in, you don't have to worry as much about thinking as you do just following the guidelines you've set for yourself. Evie is giving you support. It's giving me elbow support so I don't give myself nerve damage, importantly. This Sharpie's on its way out. I actually might have another Sharpie. Hold on. Oh, wait. What was the question from Mikey? Can I ask something? Can I use your OC's Critter Chestnut Angel for a story I want to make? Is that okay? As long as it's with respect that they are based off real people and that it's not anything adult in nature, yes, you're welcome to do so. Critter and Chestnut specifically, I say avoid anything with, like, violence. Cartoon violence is fine, but, like, anything with, like, blood, because they are you know, all ages appropriate characters, and I don't want anything coming up on Google that would traumatize a child. My only request. Also, thank you, Tay, for pumping it. You can give yourself nerve damage from resting your arms on a death disc. You can give yourself nerve damage by grinding any nerve or joint into something that's hard repeatedly. So if you're leaning on your elbow while you're drawing for extended periods of time, yes, you can give yourself nerve damage. The lines are sharp, dude. This is very cool. Thank you. So what kind of paper or sketchbooks would you recommend for trying to get back into traditional art? I really like the Midori A5 book, the Midori A5 blank sketchbook. But I'm going to tell you, I use only pencils in that because ink will bleed through it very badly. So if you're interested in inks, you will want a different book. However, I think that when you're starting off, using something a little more forgiving like pencil might be more beginner friendly. Oof, I just cracked my shoulder. Shit, that hurt. I even stretched earlier today. Oh, delightful. This explains a lot about my arms. Now, it's part of the reason that I have a buddy like this. I'm also trying to work on my core, because if your core strength's a little stronger, you don't need to lean as much. But it's not perfect just yet. Harbor. Imagine the plot of my story when I make my OCs visiting Four Leaf and meeting your OCs there. That's perfectly fine. That actually sounds sweet. Sounds like good comic practice, too. Can anyone hear him? Actually, people are mentioning the iced coffee comic. I've already had 3 today, and it's almost 9 o'clock. I really can't have another. I want more coffee, and the decaf we have is shit. So instead I just sit here and I suffer. That's too much caffeine. That's pretty regular for me, I'm not gonna lie. Three is like a normal day. On a bad day, we can get up anywhere from like 5 or 6. Do you have any juice? I have orange juice. I guess orange juice is better than just water. And I have been drinking water too, frankly. No, I hate tea. I really hate tea, actually. How has your heart not exploded into a million pieces? I've told this story on stream before, how I drank so many energy drinks that I blacked out and hit the floor a few years ago. That's part of the reason that I don't drink energy drinks anymore, is because I had heart palpitations and then went unconscious. I shared this on stream and then found out that I could have died. So I was like, you know, I'll take that seriously. That might be on me. Coffee has a much lower concentration of caffeine than energy drinks, and to be fair, I drink coffee for the taste. It's unfortunate that a lot of decaf coffee tastes like shit. Everyone in stream. I mean, it's part of the reason that I don't smoke nicotine cigarettes anymore either. I mean, I haven't smoked for a few months now anyway. Anything. But, that especially was not good. Clapping emoji. It's like, I didn't want to tell anyone when I was trying to stop, because I hate when I'm trying to do something and people are expectant, because then if I fail, they know. So I just wanted to try doing it. The trouble is now I like pace around the apartment and I just open all the cabinets in the kitchen and I'm like, what do I want? And I realize after like 5 minutes, I'm like, I want to smoke. That's like what I'm trying to find something that replaces that. It's not working. No, I do this too, it's okay. Yeah. I want to learn how to make my own lattes at home because they're so expensive. It's actually not so hard. I will say a espresso machine you know, a good one will run you maybe like $200. But if you're getting coffee every day, that's like what? 2 months? 2 months not getting coffee out? That was not a clean line. So it's something to save for. We got ours refurbed too, so it was cheaper. I feel like I really fumbled with the social media detox after Bilbo died. And I was like, well, Aspen. We did that too after Sue died. Like, you have to remember, there was that brief week where everybody was kind of like online again, and now we're back to nothing. But that's because she passed away, and then, you know, we didn't really have anywhere, like, we have friends, but that's, no. That's why I reached out, which I appreciate. It helped. Let me see. I kind of want the desk to have like a cast shadow too. I'm so happy. I'm missing WWE Raw, but it's the sacrifice I make for Critter. Thank you. That's very sweet of you. Wait, Tay, what did you say you're doing? I'm switching between all three. You're being a traitor 3 times over? That's actually really fun. Someone died? Yes. Forrest's grandmother died. And because of that, I've been doing a lot more traditional art because, one, I've not physically been at home because there's been, you know, funeral arrangements and things that need tended to. But also just because it's helping me grieve, I guess. It's helping me because it makes me happy. And when there's very little that can be done to improve that elsewise, something like this helps. Fuck yeah, man, I want that badge. That's really funny. I was wondering why you weren't on Mystery anymore. I went to attack you. Technically, Red went to attack you, and then we've been trying our best not to do friendly fire if we can, so that we can get points off. So you'll be Tragedy by the end, right, Tay? For no motivated reason at all whatsoever. Okay, good. Do you want like a little spoiler? Do you remember when I said that I've been trying to do colored pencil for like 4 times over? Let's see, where's the first one? Okay. So this was the first one. This is where I learned that watercolor paper does not like colored pencil. I think this was the second one, where I realized that cardstock also does not like colored pencil. This is the third one that I did, where I over-pigmented the shit out of the art. And then this is the one that I'm leaving for Red, because you can barely even see this one. I just gave up. I'm not trying this one. This is his. I died so many times trying to get this to just look good. And it was painful. I'm gonna cry. I was gonna say, I've been meaning to send you a care package with little things, so I figured it would work. Great day to be doing 4 attacks. That's crazy. I'm working with colored pencils when I was going to say, my headmate loves them. I wish I could be the same. I am not such a gentle soul. That is all his, not for me. I will stick to the... Why does Critter keep freezing? Stop that. You look scary. It's a gift, plus I wanted to experiment, and I love you all a lot. That's very sweet. Thank you. Also, sorry to ask again, but how is the art fight victim of the live picked? Is it just random? Is there a form to fill out? There's not a form. I asked on YouTube, Blue Sky, and Tumblr for people to comment people that have not been attacked at all this year. and I am going to pick based off of who I am interested in, of the people that are commented. Now I say I, but that could be any of us, so it depends who's here to do that stream, importantly. But I don't know that, so I won't know. Do you prefer traditional art or digital art for your attacks? Well, so this year the goal is to do all digital art for us. Unless you're talking about receiving, in which case I have no preference. My preference is that you, whatever you do, you have fun with. It's a gift, so I am not in the space to have a preference. Knocking back the pencil is always one of the most satisfying parts of the process for me, because it's like you get to see the clean drawing get revealed. Did you mean traditional? I probably did. Sorry, I'm drawing. Sometimes sometimes the wires get crossed. Oof, I'm just shaking this a lot though. See how Buggy. I don't know who he's singing to. I've only gotten 2 attacks done so far. I mean, that is more than okay. It's only been like 6 days. I almost said 4, but that's because I was when I was here last, so. But really, it has not been all that long. Don't beat yourself up. I'm also much quicker with traditional than I am digital. Buggy is singing because his voice is beautiful. I mean, this is true. My son's beautiful voice. Speaking of sons, did anyone watch Jack play the game Mole? Or see the game Mole that just came out? It was a horror game. It was really good. I was surprised. He was comparing it to mouthwashing. I think that is a very lofty comparison to make. It was good. To its credit, it was very good. And stylistically, I can see the comparisons to mouthwashing. I think mouthwashing is a really tough act to follow. It's about a crew that digs into the center of the earth to try and find a frequency that has been playing from beneath the earth's crust that's causing electrical interference on the surface and causing people to experience a sort of sickness that drives them insane, called the White Rabbit Signal. And the reason it drives them insane is because they hear the voices of their loved ones from beneath the Earth's surface telling them to dig. It's really interesting. It grabbed me right away. That sounds cool as fuck. It was very cool. It was... So I've been so motivated for ARTFIGHT this year, but my body is trying to take me out. First with surgery, and now I'm sick with a cold. It's called Mole. Like I said, I really enjoyed it. All right, let's see. There's a few segments that need paneling. I'm trying to decide if I want to be bad and just start lining the next page rather than finishing up the paneling, but it will have to get done eventually. Hold on. Oh wait, I didn't knock that back yet. No, it was really interesting. I think he plays it well. There's definitely a few times where I was like, oh, I knew I was going to do this eventually. This is why I use a clipboard. At least when it scans, it doesn't come up as folded. That's sad. Also part of the reason you do cardstock. But it's okay. I use printer paper because it's cheap. And these comics aren't meant to be perfect or marketable. The game is called Mole. Oh, but what I was going to say is there was definitely some times where he was doing puzzles where I was like pulling my hair, and then I found out that he had like he got like a concussion or something recently, and I was like, okay, never mind, man, that's fine, I understand. Forgiven. Your diary comics have been traditional lately? Yes. If you've noticed that they've looked different, that's why. Is there a lot of YouTuberism in his playthrough? There's not. It's actually not that. He's pretty good with it. I will say that Jack does not bother me as much. He's a little higher energy than I usually like, but I find him to be a generally charming person, and I like to watch his stuff. I think sometimes when he misses the points of stories, again, that's another one where I want to pull my hair, but it's not a crime. It's just, as someone that loves, and he tries. I think that's the other thing, is that the difference between him as a YouTuber and other people is that he actually puts effort into trying to, yeah, Jacksepticeye. I wasn't even a Jacksepticeye watcher before Forrest and I started dating. And, you know, he really likes watching him, so I was like, yeah, sure, why not? And I enjoy him now. Yeah, he's pretty high energy, which throws me off, but I like how he engages with the game. And that's all I could ask. All I ask is that when playing games, people actually try to meet them where they're at, and he does that, which is part of the reason why I'm like, all right, I don't mind you. There are YouTubers that irritate me, and he's not one of them. Spared in the YouTube destruction war. Minecraft bat noises are giving me serotonin. I love Minecraft bats. I hate when Minecraft bats die. I hate when they fly into lava. It makes me really sad. Let's see. Something else, a little cheat that I've learned, is by putting speech bubbles at the corners of panels. You can't do it for everyone. And actually, this is really bad comic practice, by the way. Don't do this. There should be some sort of movement and rhythm, but because I didn't plan my bubbles out before I started drawing, that's why this happened. But if you put speech bubbles at the corners of panels, it makes it so that if they're imperfect, no one really notices because they're at the corners. It's also hard because a lot of times YouTubers will give their first impressions of games after they finish them, rather than sitting with them for a bit and thinking about it. Well, it all kind of is my trouble with content in general. I think that, especially games, you know, they're just an alternative form of storytelling. It's okay to not understand something right away, but as a YouTuber, you have the ability to go back and then add your thoughts in post, and I wish that more people did that. Streams I kind of understand, because sometimes you're just in the moment and you can't generate thoughts that you don't have. Why is that Minecraft block breaking hitting every beat? Where's my cap? There it is. Alright, now I can listen. I'm still a bit sad by the page wrinkling, but what can you do? Your traditional line work is impressive. Thank you. I enjoy it. It's relaxing for me. I think some of the imperfection is what makes it fun. So I just wanted to say your comic on Tumblr makes me feel really seen with my own struggles. I'm glad. Maybe you could iron it out. Can you do that with paper? It adds character? It does. It's like when Buggy got coffee splashed onto one of my pages because he put his hand into my cold brew. He piggy dips in my cold brew all the time. It drives me crazy. trying to crack my knuckles. He's piggy dipping. Except it's not in the piggy pond, because that's not where he's supposed to be. It's not his water fountain, it's my coffee. I do really like this first panel. I was trying to do something that was a little more dramatic lighting-wise. In general, I've been trying to work on my values in comics, because I think when you start adding additional colors, you can kind of detract from the focus, which is to make sure that you have something that's striking and eye-catching, and if you can do that with black and white, you can do it with pretty much anything. Why is Critter winking at me? So how are you doing, and how has the art fight been going? Art fight has gone well. Finished the 2 attacks that I wanted to finish for tonight already. So, unless you put cloth over the paper, I'm wondering, but wouldn't it get wet? That's the thing. Some paper, yes. Most, actually, maybe. It's printer paper. That's the only thing that worries me, is that because it's not like art paper, I don't know if it will survive. You can iron paper at a very low setting. You know, this is the next thing I'm realizing. I don't know if I own an iron. I don't wear pressed shirts anymore. So I don't think I own one. I may need to see if our neighbors own one. That's such a funny reason to realize, is that I need to iron a page. I'm going to test this out with a piece of paper that I have not drawn a full inked comic on first, to see if that works, at least with this kind of paper. And if it does, then we'll fix it. Or just sandwich it between heavy things. This is true. Also, yes, this is a correction tape. It's like whiteout. Basically, it works and does what whiteout does. Let's see. I try not to use it too much because you can't see it, but I can see it, and that bothers me. So I try to be clean with my lines where I can, but every so often I'll go over, and it's just how it's going to go with traditional comics. I'm sure I'll also see, typically in natural lighting, I can see so much more of the pencil lines beneath. But I think I've knocked back most everything now. At least for the first page. Correction tape does yellow over time, unfortunately. Does it really? Made it because of your bad comic day. Thank you so much for making us try something new. Oh, that's fantastic. Wait, I think I missed your first message. Like, you made a traditional comic? Problem is here. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see the sketch. Maybe if I zoom in. It's very light. I guess I could ink too. ARTFIGHT is so fun. Receiving art has got to be top 10 happiest moments. Made a cold brew and a bad comic, both lots of fun. Oh, wonderful. Oop, not me touching the mic. What camera are you using to stream this? I'm using a Pentax DSLR iPhone camera. I don't have money. Critter ASMR, everyone lock in. I'm starting to think Mystery isn't winning anytime soon. I hate to say, Mystery, as soon as I saw the numbers of who was on what's team, I was a little scared for you. I mean, it works really nice. The quality is nice. Thank you. Actually, move this more like here. Yeah. Hold on. I kind of want to see if Buggy's going to use the cat wheel. Because he's, like, crawling on it. Do you want it on? Do you want it on, Buggy? Go on. I'm going to see if, he runs on it. Go on. Yeah. It won't hurt you. You're fine. That's for you. I like that he honks. Was that Buggy attacking? So we got a cat wheel because Buggy has been kind of a menace lately. And we wanted to help him get out some of his energy, you know, in a way that is okay for him. But he hasn't used it yet. To be fair, it's only been here for like 2 days. Now he's just rolling at my feet, though. I'm on Mystery and I've made 15 attacks. Lock in, y'all. You know, maybe you're the reason that Mystery will survive. Okay, you can kind of see the sketch now. Oh wait, welcome in, Raiders. Hello to Temnophilosaur. Also, I had a question about cold brew. Do you like the cold brew in the refrigerator like tea? Do you brew the cold brew in the refrigerator like tea and then strain it out? Yes. You can brew it not in the fridge, but it... He's using it. Wait. Hold on. No, Buggy, go. You can do it. Also, just so no one's scared, that's a paint of watercolor paint, not a scary, dubious paint plate. No. You can do it. Oh. Okay. I was so excited. I think he got shy because I was looking over at him. He said nope. He was walking on it for a moment. I think he just got shy because I looked over it. Now he's rolling at my feet. Hi. I love you. The thing. Camera shy. How would one unlurk? Oh, you can just start talking. You don't have to actually do any sort of command to unlurk. What's your name on ARTFIGHT? My username is 4leaf Island pretty much everywhere. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. Sorry, I'm like trying not to stare at him so he doesn't get nervous. He decided that if your attention was on the table, he'd rather have that. That's true. Your cat has gorgeous markings. Thank you. That's why I drew him. Hold on. My Buggy. Ooh. I almost bent the comic page again. And yes, I actually did see that soybean latte, the custom LPS attack. That was a... So is there any particular reason why yellow is the color red in this comic? It's not actually red, it's orange, and it's because there is no yellow pen that will show up on paper, so I'm going to have to color correct digitally. we have a yellow paint pen, but it does not line accurately, and it drives me kind of crazy. So, it's much easier to color correct orange than it is to try to use a paint pen. My cat's name is Buzzy, almost twins. I've only done 5 attacks. That's not bad at all. That is absolutely not bad at all. Don't be sad. Lynn, that's a great amount of attacks. It's only been 6 days. I have a yellow micron that shows really well. Hold on. Brad O'Clock, if you just saved my ass from having to color correct forever, I will be so happy. Oh, thank fucking God. I'm so tired of having to do this. Yellow is just sunburn. This is true, actually. This does happen to us. What's a micron? Micron is a type of pen. Wait, I'll actually do it like this. The only yellow that shows that I can think of are those glitter gel pens. So that's actually what we've been using, is these, right? And let's find like an example paper I could use really quickly. That's what they look like when they write, which is like, you can see it, but when it scans, it blows it out so crazy that it basically isn't there. It's just much easier to do art with an orange pen and then correct it. Does anyone hear Minecraft noises? Yes, there are Minecraft noises. They're to help me focus. I was looking for where those were coming from. The Minecraft noises are whimsical. They're, like I said, they're just nice background noise for working. I meant to have that arm going behind. That may be a place to have to use whiteout. Unfortunately, I hate to do it. Hi, Jinx. Thank you for the Prime sub. Oh, he's playing. God, I thought you just threw up. Buggy, don't scare me like that, please. Also stretch your wrists, thank you. Actually, I will say, my wrists have not been as stiff since we started doing more traditional art. I am going to sit really quickly. I wonder why that is. It's more mobile. Like, I can move the page around, I think, while I'm working. So, also, when you draw on a tablet, for reference, on a tablet, I draw on a square of space that's about this big. Captions read, traditional art is nutritional art. You know what? That's true. It is nutritional art. It's nutritional for my soul. Also, to Pazzi, no, this was just drafted and scripted before they made that change. So to keep it accurate to the time it was from, I'm including it. I was going to say it's nutritional because you can physically eat it. The critter squints contentedly. It's, anytime I'm looking down. I'm gonna, you know what? Hold on. I have just thought of something. I'm gonna get jostled for a second, so I apologize. Does this work better? No. Now it doesn't even know what the hell it's looking at. Great. I'm trying to figure out if there's a way that I can have the phone see Critter. Unless it's just holding it upside down. Does that actually... Whoa. If this is the solution, that's going to be insane. I don't know why that works. It's falling. Well, alright. Squinting Critter it is. Give us Wire Mother? I could do Wire Mother. Actually, you know what? I'll do Wire Mother. Pfft, except it's not open. Where did you... Hello? Oh, it's because TV's locked. Okay, there we go. I'm doing digital art for ARTFIGHT because I just got my screenless tablet. Oh, that's wonderful. I hope you have fun with it, too. Very fun. Wire Mother, why are you hiding? I think the size of the model is just a little bit smaller. Now... Sorry, this was bothering me. I want to fix this. Learning correction tape yellows is kind of like a 9/11 for me, but it's fine. Critter just needs glasses. You know, actually, I think part of the reason it thinks I'm squinting is because I do wear glasses. So it's like catching the top of my glasses rim and it's hiding my eyes. So this was what you were using when I first followed you? Oh, the 2D one. Also, I'm having fun. That's great. Alright, let's see. Switching back and forth between the pens is fun. I couldn't tell you why. So is anyone else hearing Minecraft sounds? Yes, there are Minecraft sounds. Maybe I need to put that in a pinned. The Minecraft noises are just there for background noise comfort. Wire Papa actually chat, that is true. I never remember to correct. I kind of just accepted that I'm playing a character for streams. But I appreciate it. I wonder if you can see... Well, stop doing that, Foreheads you. Hold on, I need to drink. So can I just say I love the way you draw bats so much. Black's design is one of my favorites. Thank you. I think if bats had been my favorite animal since I was like 7, I would be a fake bat fan if I didn't know how to draw them. And I even think that I don't draw them well enough. I take too many creative liberties with my Sona, but I guess it is a fursona at the end of the day. So I use multiple pencils when I draw because my eraser usually goes quick. And I love switching pencils to erase. I feel like I'm in a flow state. No, it's one of the reasons I love doing traditional art is like, you do genuinely reach like a flow state with it. Charles, my first one is like 9 different animals. I think you can be your bat. This is true. It's like a bat dragon. It's like partially more realistic bat, partially for fun. I love the fluff on Yellow's inner ear. That's based off of our cat Harbor, who has like little wisps on the side of his ear. Is he based off any bat species specifically? Mousetail bat and then the flying fox. The longer tail is for the mousetail and the flying fox is the head shape. And also because I like Stella Luna. It was like my favorite movie growing up. There was a movie? Yep. Stella Luna movie was not the best animated, but it was what I owned because it was like one of those straight to DVD at a grocery store things, which is pretty much all that we had growing up. Ooh. Sorry, I need to fix this so that it's a little more visible. Does holding the pen like that help? No idea. I'm autistic. I've always held the pen like this. I have never held it any other way. They've tried to correct me 1,000 times in school, and I just never changed. And now I can draw, so I could lie and say yes, it does, but I actually don't know. I hold it like this because it helps me see what I'm drawing. It's something beautiful about the way it's a beautiful way to hold the pen, actually. We do something a tad bit similar. Can't hear anything in my car, so I'm gonna head out. No worries. I hope you have a lovely night, Sam. Also, what pencil did you use to do the sketch? So it's not actually the pencil model itself that's important, although I do have a bit of a preference to the Twister Ace because they're just, they're sturdy. It's the lead. It's a like UNI red lead. It's erasable specifically, and I like it because it's a little easier for me to see around and it doesn't get shiny like graphite. Learning to make Twitch emotes for my partner's stream. I still have 2 days before his birthday, and your stream finds me at a very helpful time to work along. Wait, that's fantastic, and I wish you luck. That is an incredibly sweet thing to do. I have things to do similar for my boyfriend who wants to return to streaming, so I hope by the time that I'm there, your goal will be held. Buggy. It's not even Buggy this time, it's Harbor. I just noticed the critter is holding its tail. Yes. My ugly hand. Harper or harbor? It's harbor, like where boats are docked. This is not an attack. I have actually already finished, pardon me, the 2 attacks that I wanted to do tonight. Now I'm just doing an entry for my comic diary. Back from class. Wait, let me. Look. Gestures. My work. The fruits of my labor. Now I'm doing a comic. These are so good, dude. Thank you. I think I've kind of found my color medium. I was not enjoying colored pencils. Although, wait, did you see the first page of this? I know I showed you the work in progress when I was working on it, but there's something about the inks on the first few panels are really nice. I'm actually gonna fill this in. Oof, hello, microphone. I don't know why I didn't do that earlier. You're going crazy, I need to catch up. You can do it. Very clean for traditional. You know, I used to only do traditional comics. I mean, again, ironically, that's what this strip is about, is talking about why we started doing comics in the first place. And, you know, how we started doing comics in the first place. But I started doing digital because, you know, it was easier to hide, couldn't get destroyed by anybody. But also because it's what people would respond to online, even though it wasn't necessarily my preference to do. Keep getting blown up by creepers while trying to raise some frogs. I'm so sorry. Well, it's very funny. It's a funny way to die, and for a funny cause. What do frogs even eat in Minecraft? I didn't know you could, like, raise them. They eat cubes and slime balls. And does that help them breed? They lay eggs and then they turn into tadpoles, which can be bucketed. Interesting. So they come in different colors too. I've never figured out how to get frog lights. I know that you have to have them eat a magma cube, but like, how do you even? First of all, will they just do that if they're in the presence of a magma cube or magma slime? And second of all, how the hell do you get them to the Nether? Trying to figure out. I could probably get a car in here. Yeah. You know, I'm realizing this is the first time I've drawn a car in our comic. No. I think I've drawn a car from the outside. Have I drawn a car? No, I think I have. I think I did. Very briefly, I think I drew a car. Okay, I'm glad the critter's not squinting anymore now that it looks down. That was kind of bothering me. In the Road Boy backstory? Oh, I mean, not in Leica's. Leica's I've definitely drawn cars before because of the Road Boy backstory. I meant the comic diary. Oh, fun, I get to draw trees. I actually get to draw scenery. I just realized. I'm gonna say get to, but I can... You recently drew a few for the comic where... that one too. Well, to be fair, to be entirely fair, that was not me. That was another part. The fact that he beat me to that is actually surprising, though, because he hates cars. I enjoy drawing them in passing. I don't like them. Actually, hold on. I can show... So long as there's not like a... Yeah, this is talking about music, that's fine. I did a car while I was out at a cafe. It's not the best in the world. The buggy. It's pretty good. Thank you. It's a nice ass car. It was fun to do. So I like the color lining you're doing. It's a way of showing who's talking and also who's where. It helps like characters stand out in a comic. I don't think it would work for every comic, but for this specific one it works nicely, I found. And I said characters. That's something that does actually trouble me a bit, is that, like, unfortunately the nature of comics is that they are meant to be read. So at the end of the day, you know, if you have something that you're writing to be writing to be read, you end up becoming a character in one way or another, whether or not you like it. I still haven't been able to make peace with it, but I do like making comics. Is someone picking up items in the background? So if you're referring to the Minecraft noises, yes. If you're referring to the jingle, that's my cat playing with a toy, because he loves me, and he likes being in the same room as me, and that means that he's going to do everything he wants to do in the same room, loudly. Also, if the captions freeze... I've gotten 14 attacks done so far. I just finished 9 and 10 for myself. Ah, the captions are down. I'm sorry. Reforms their characters, not their personhood. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it, actually. I like that. He is playing with his toys. I would rather him play with his toys than my foot, so I'll accept that. I almost forgot his moustache. I like drawing Forrest's whiskers as, like, literal dog whiskers. Snoopy. The Death of the Artist Dilemma, classic. There was like a post that said it very well. The problem with making yourself part of the performance is that the death of the author also applies to you. And I was like, ow. Okay, yeah, you're right. But also, ow. Ten drawings, that's a lot. It's gonna be, what I'm doing is I'm saving them all so that at the end of the month I can send them all out. I just realized my mouse is on my screen. I'm going to put them all on the floor and then photograph them all together. I love that the artist applies to me. I hope that everyone connects with my art in their own way. See, that part I actually do like. It's the... I don't know. I have... It's like my values and my comforts sometimes conflict with each other. Although, to be fair, I think that that's a very human thing to experience. A lot of people, you know, they feel one way about something and then they encounter something that makes them doubt those feelings, but then they usually end up going, no, I do still feel this way, even though this thing personally made me feel uncomfortable or feel bad. It's like how, you know, you can believe that all people deserve support and deserve comfort, and that given the resources they can improve, and there are going to be people that challenge that view of the world that you have. It doesn't mean that it's untrue, it just means that there are going to be sometimes exceptions where people deliberately don't accept help. And that doesn't change the fact that most people would benefit from receiving it. I just drawn a character in a scene. It was grueling, but I learned some stuff. That's awesome, though. I'm proud. I think they look exceptionally ugly in this panel. That's pretty awful. It's okay, the first page was so good that the second one has to be a little ugly. That's just the rule. It's like Murphy's Law, except it's my law. My caw, like the bird. But it is a bit insane to have a fandom of your diary. I get the discomfort. No, exactly. And there's no real way to counteract that. I've talked till I was like blue in the face with friends about this. It's like, well, the only way to stop that from happening is to just stop writing it. And I enjoy writing, so I don't really want to do that. And I don't even know what rules I would make, because anything I could say would have to come based off of prediction, which I can't do either. Critter's Law. What's been happening with the diary? Nothing particularly bad. Or stop posting. Well, and I could. That's the thing, is that I actually do like it being read. I enjoy a lot of the interactions that happen with it. It's just that, unfortunately, there's also going to be ones that I don't. And trust, there are absolutely some that I don't share. Am I cooked if I have a battle ratio of more than 90%? Like, 90% you've been attacked, or you have done attacks for other people? I don't want to be like, you don't have to worry, but our battle ratio is like 2%. It's bad. %, have done attacks for other people. Oh, why would you be cooked? That's like impressive. My Micron pen is dying. Sometimes when they die, they produce like an interesting texture though, so even in death we have our uses. Just woke up, got to work in an hour. So nice to be able to catch a stream still. Looks amazing. Thank you. So your art fight stat is actually 1.9. God. For what it's worth, reading your comics has helped me process my own ongoing problems and reframe how I think about metacognition. Still need to read The Haunt itself, but I definitely identified an AP and an EP for myself. He's a special dog. The script for this one is funny. The revelation was fun because I didn't realize that they didn't know what I did, as happens with a lot of things. But sometimes keeping the conversations exactly as they play out, I mean, we do that, but that means that sometimes they're going to be less, what's the word I'm looking for? They're going to be less poetic and they're going to be silly, because some conversations are just like that. Thank you for sharing them. I connect to them. That's no worries. And also thank you too to 3 Enigma. Kind of want to do more shading there. I'm back watching the stream to the part where Mitch McConnell died. Allegedly. We don't know this for sure. so I don't want to get anyone's hopes up. Ah, the micron. Oh, that was terrible. Alright, hold on. This is where my favorite method comes in. Where are my post-its? When things really go horribly wrong, never forget, you can always cut out a piece of paper. And notice how I did that one perfectly. Like it was no problem. I do need a glue roll. I'll cut it out first. I need everyone to stop jinxing us. Oh, he's gonna die after this long speech. Now you won't. You jinxed us. Every time I use the Sanrio scissors, I remember to maintain humility. Also, speaking of drawing perfect circles, have you read any Witch Hat Atelier? No, but I've been told to read it by many people because of the art, so I do intend to. Alright, hold on. Glue roller. Cutting out a piece of paper using a sticky note strat is so high tier I need to do more often. It also adds just a little visual texture to the comic, which is kind of fun. Like, I don't know. The thing with comics is that they are deeply unserious. Unless you are a published comic artist, even in that case, a lot of comic artists do the same exact thing. You do not need to be, like, acting like a Protestant. You can make mistakes and then correct those mistakes in easy ways. It's okay. My fingers got stuck. Reading that will change your comic game for sure. I'm very excited. I've kind of been saving it for a time that I have a lot of free time so I can like properly appreciate it. Though maybe the hiatus / vacation is a good time. Although I'm still working through Billy Bat, which is actually my recommendation. Any guys reason why you guys started doing more traditional pieces? I was horrifically depressed because a loved one died, and I needed to change something because the monotony of daily life after losing someone was starting to get to me, and so I had to return to something that was familiar from my childhood, which is traditional work. Have you ever used manga halftones before in your physical comics? No, but I want to. I don't actually know where to get them. But I would like to try. Thank you for the hydrate. I really want a light box next. That's like my next like art trinket piece that I would like, because having to trace by holding things up to the window, my arms are getting very strong, but it would be much easier if I could not have to do that. Mangaka use the cutout paper strat too. See, that's what I'm saying. It's just so... It makes more sense than torturing yourself. I don't understand why someone wouldn't do it. You give the vibe of someone who would really enjoy screen toning, or would be really into it, because it's very precise and matches how well you use negative space. I've wanted to do it specifically because I think that when it comes to comics, you know, less is more. I think when you're able to communicate things well with simpler values and blocks of space, it shows a strength in your composition and your layouts. That is not a fucking straight edge. Okay. Where is the damn... There it is. I'm gonna slime my shit out. And now I'm drawing on the ruler. Please. Alright. That's fine. So be it. This is why I can see why comic artists do the panels first, because if you fuck them up, you don't draw for the rest of the page. I've seen halftones for sale online. Oh, that'd probably be very easy to find then. I should look for them. I love my light box. I might be able to... you might be able to find a cheap one at a secondhand store. That's smart, actually. How much do light boxes usually go for? Someone said $20 on stream. I don't know if that's true. I haven't looked. Actually, the last thing that I did was buy hooks for our kitchen. Like wall hooks, because Forrest wanted to hang our utensils. Or like our cookware. So that we had more counter space, which I deeply appreciate, because trying to cook... okay. Trying to cook in not having enough space is one of my biggest pet peeves. I wonder if you'd be able to make your own light box using an old cardboard box and some paper taped. That could work, actually. I'm a wobbly panels truther. Weird but fun narratively, but fun and narratively interesting paneling is the best. This is true. Well, and I guess that's part of the craving like a human touch to things. Is that sometimes the human is in its imperfection. I looked it up and they're super cheap. All right. I'm a lurker, but I gotta ask, where did you get the cinema roll ruler? H Mart. We had a day we went grocery shopping at H Mart and there was rulers. Any pictures? Wait, sorry. Any tips of taking pictures of traditional drawings? Natural lighting is your best friend, and if you don't have that, then a scanner. You want to wait for sunlight, because trying to take pictures under like a light during nighttime, like especially like a indoor yellow interior light, is not going to look very nice. So how's the art fight going for you? Pretty well. I finished pieces 9 and 10 tonight. And I'm now currently working on a personal comic, but I want to do more pieces. I'll probably do another 2 tomorrow. That's the goal. And also, how do you scan stuff? I have a printer where you just put stuff in the flatbed of the scanner, and then you hit scan. I don't know how else to say. I don't do much special to it. I wish my hands weren't shaking so bad. Also, why do I hear Minecraft is background ambiance for stream. Hmm? 10? Yes. You guys dabbled in poetry. I know you guys have done short stories and whatnot. Fun fact, one of our horror short stories was actually a poem that was for our poetry class. So yes, quite a lot. Don't have any of it. A lot of it got destroyed. But there are a few people that like poetry within our system, at least. Let's see. Oof, my hand just like did a weird thing. How do I use a pencil? Pick it up and start making marks on the paper. I believe in you. Did you finish any attacks on the stream yet? Yes, 2 of them. That's why I'm doing something for fun now, because I finished the attacks that I had planned. I have nothing else sketched. And I don't tend to sketch on streams, just because I go very quiet when I sketch, which is fine, but I prefer to be a little more active in the conversation. Maybe... Sorry, I keep switching out what I'm doing. No, I actually kind of like just having the dark background. Draw whatever you see if you don't know how to draw. Well, if you are too lazy to catch your runaway pencil and don't want to go do it, then you are welcome to stay here and keep us company. Sometimes you just need a night off. I know I wanted to grab a new Sharpie. We have a... From working as baristas, we have a bucket of Sharpies because you use them for writing on cups, and so they become my go-to fill pens when I have like large spaces that need filled. Stretch break, thank you. Communal Sharpie bucket, you have no idea. It's like this big, and it's just all black Sharpies. We had a separate one that was colorful ones for seasons, but there's not that many of those. Not nearly as many as the black Sharpies. Have you or have you not made a video on making comics, and are you going to make one? I don't know if I'm skilled enough. I feel like I am very much I don't know how to say. I'm not like a professional comics maker. I'm a comics maker because I love making comics. But I suppose you could say that about art too. It's not like I've had any like traditional training. I don't know, maybe. I don't know what interesting I would have to say. Actually, perhaps I'm going about it the wrong way. What questions do people even have about making comics? So are you a comic sans? Also, do you think you'll be ending soon? I didn't even realize what time it was. You know what? Let me finish the lines on this page, and then yes. Have you worn wigs? Will you wear wigs? I do love when people ask questions on stream. It feels like that sometimes. I fucked that terribly. That was bad. Well, white out, my love. I mean, if art is your full-time job at this point, I would say you're a professional. I would say I'm a professional artist in the way that a kindergarten teacher is a professional storytime reader. Does that make sense? I love art, though. I'd love to learn more about what you think about when laying out characters. Like composition. Okay. The root of the word amateur means for the love of it. Does it really? Like the Latin? I didn't know that. And I'm like a huge Latin root word guy. I feel like a fake fan. Trying to erase gradually around the whiteout so I don't tear it up. Fake fan of the Latin language. Fake fan of fun facts, I'll say. But I do genuinely like Latin root words. It's like an interest of mine in passing. You're an artist by trade. I think teaching versus doing are two separate skills, though I find you're good at explaining too when you do, though I get that you're more comfortable in one rather than the other. This is fair. I always think, like, professional-wise, like, I would have to be hired to do the art itself, but the explaining part, I would definitely say I would fall under teacher. Like, I can teach skills that I understand. I guess I'm also just learning them, but then again, what artist isn't? Bros Live, I was just watching a video of yours for help with my art. So I always struggle to make a comic page. Comic pages flow and read clearly. You know what I could probably do is I could do criticisms. Because I could do criticisms first, and that could show me what areas people are struggling on. But I also think by actually looking over people's pages, I would be able to figure out what I would do differently. That's part of the reason I do the criticisms, is because sometimes I don't know what to break down, because there are some things that I'm not even really, like, thinking of when I'm doing comics. I'm just doing them sort of because I've done comics for years. And so when I see someone not doing them, I'm like, wait, why are you doing that? Or, you know, I'll explain, you know, this is why you typically do this. Is there a reason that you did that? Where would you recommend posting comics? I share comics on Tumblr. I don't know if I would recommend it, but it's just kind of my home base. However, Comic Fury is good for, like, webcomics. It's an audience specifically dedicated to people that want to read webcomics. I've actually always wondered if people want altered panel on Comic Fury. I feel like the audience there might be a little more mature. I don't know. So because of time zone reasons, your night streams are my morning streams and the opposite? Really? I mean, I get that is how time zones work, but I'm surprised to hear someone at the exact opposite side of the world. And also welcome in. Comic criticisms would be a great stream. I think it would be fun for me. Trouble with scheduling, of course, is like who comes in to do it, but since all of us work on comics by our job, I think anyone could do it pretty easily. This needs to be filled in, actually. Your night streams start at 10 a.m. my time. Wow. So I said I would finish the lines, but I actually started getting kind of hungry while I was working on this. So I might end shortly. I'll probably finish this panel and like filling in the dark space for it. Also, thank you for the posture check. Unless we hit sub goal, unless you guys had any new ideas. No, actually, I didn't. So that might be a good sub goal. And I realized we did hit sub goal. I completely missed it. Every time I hear the Minecraft guy take damage, I panic for a second. Sorry, the Minecraft noises in the background are to help me focus. And yes, that was a Minecraft chest. You did hear that correctly. Before you end, what pen are you using? Mix of things. This is a Fudenesuke pen, Tombow. This one is the Precise V5 rolling ball. And then for filling in the space, I use a Sharpie. And then the orange is Pen Gear. Also, this is an older one, to Sunshine Beetle. This is a much older script that just never got done because I think that because it's like seems mundane. Other parts were like, oh well, it's not important to like the rhythm of the comic, and I'm just like, well, I want to do it. It seems fun. Are we listening to a guy playing Minecraft? Yes. Every time I pull back from the page, I see white space that I didn't fill in. It's kind of hard to see because of the light reflecting onto it. You can kind of tell which of these I filled in earlier in the day. Alright. I'm trying to imagine, like, think of what other attacks. I've really been enjoying doing the watercolor attacks for ARTFIGHT. But I can't imagine what else I want to do. I don't know if I want to do, like, a comic page for ARTFIGHT. That could be... I mean, I could, but, like, it'd be a lot. Smithykins, thank you for the resub. So I'm going to hop off. I'm going to make tea before bed. I don't don't like tea, but maybe I should do that. Maybe that will help me sleep better is if I drink tea. Do a block print. Is that where you carve something out and then print it? I don't actually think I have the materials to do so. Although I can't imagine it's very much. You just need like a cork, right? That could be fun. I might actually have the knives, because I think we cut a stamp years ago. God, it's been years since I've lino cut, too. That's a tentative maybe. That sounds like fun, though. It sounds like my wrist will hate me, but it could be neat. Do you like drawing digital or physical more? Do you like both? I like both. If you're asking me all the time, I like both. Right now, at this point in my life, I actually cannot really look at a computer without feeling a bit nauseous. It's not a condition or anything. I just think that I've got a lot of pressure, and there's a lot going on in life, and everything kind of exploded all at once. And as of right now, traditional art is giving me some stability and some comfort that digital art was not. But I don't hate digital art. I never really have. I've enjoyed it for different reasons. I just think it's not what I need right now. You met me at a very traditional art time of my life. That's a very good way of putting things, actually. What about tea that tastes like coffee? Does such a thing exist? Does it actually taste like coffee is the question. Or is this a it tastes like chicken thing that people say about foods that do not taste like chicken? Goodbye, not the Fight Club reference. Wait, what did I even say? What did I say? I'm trying to... It wasn't intentional if it was. Guy that has seen Fight Club so many times. I'm referencing Fight Club and I'm not even realizing I'm doing it. Oh, you met me at a very traditional art time. Okay, okay. Tastes like a watered-down version of coffee. I have a maple espresso loose leaf tea that I like to drink black, but I wouldn't say it's nearly as strong. That's the problem, is that I drink black coffee, so if it's not a strong taste, I'm gonna be kind of just like about it. I like green tea all right, but the problem is green tea is not like a good tea to drink going to bed because it's caffeinated. You ever drink milk tea? I have. I don't really like it. It's too sweet. My boyfriend likes it, though. Actually, funny, when we go for milk tea, usually I get coffee. I just found an ARTFIGHT profile with an interactive Game Boy that plays Pokemon Red. That's very cool. Can I join the ARTFIGHT late? Yes, you can join today. You can join ARTFIGHT all the way up to the very last day of the game. You can join ARTFIGHT after the game ends. It's just you won't be able to play that event because it's over. But you can join ARTFIGHT year-round and play whatever game is actively going on as long as there is a game actively going on. There's like a eraser shaving stuck on the pen. Also, what's your coffee order? Wildly depends on where I am. If I'm going somewhere for the first time, I usually just ask for their house roast, like a cup of their house roast black, because I want to know what their coffee's like. Or I'll get espresso shots, that also works. If it's middle of the summer, I'll probably get a cold brew, or if they don't have cold brew, an iced Americano. If it's wintertime, I will often do a cappuccino, or a cortado is usually more my speed. But a cappuccino can be good. Cappuccino's like a treat, right? Like you can't do it every day, you can't do it all the time, but it's nice. Trying to think what else. I do like a shaken espresso too, iced. That's another one that I enjoy. All the coffee talk will always make me smile. I do miss working at a cafe sometimes, specifically to help people find drinks that they like. But I don't miss it for like any of the other reasons. I don't miss it for the poor pay. I don't miss it for the customers that are kind of shit. I just enjoy helping people find things that they enjoy. I almost forgot the finger. Have you? Oh, wait. Yes, sorry. My favorite kind of coffee is Vietnamese iced coffee. I was going to say. If I had to pick an absolute favorite overall next to cold brew, and I might even beat out cold brew, Vietnamese iced coffee is my favorite. It's one of the reasons I love going for pho is not just because I like pho, but also because I like Vietnamese iced coffee. Also, if you miss helping people find the things they like, why not do a semi-frequent sharing of coffee recipes you like to make at home? You know, it's part of the reason I enjoyed the comic that I made for Bad Comic Day. What's nice is that you can still help people do that even now. You go to you and Tay just had like a neural link moment. I don't know. I enjoyed the comic that I did for Make a Terrible Comic Day. I think getting to write out a recipe and also draw the physical process helped, especially because I think that it's like another way to help people see what you're doing. And just fun as an exercise. Of course, Coda and I did. It was kind of beautiful. When your first suit is done, you should do a coffee rec stream. What, like wearing the suit? That sounds... I'm going to be honest, that sounds pretty miserable. That sounds hot. Like I would sweat to death. Unless you just mean like making it in suit, but even then I'm scared that I would get something on the suit. I mean, I could do that, Snowfog. Everyone does have slightly different preferences. I did finish this panel, but I'm having fun working, so I don't want to stop. All right, but that doesn't mean I have to do the panels, which I don't like. It's like you know, I say eating your greens, but I actually... Also, when using Sharpie, do you have any way to keep it from bleeding to the other side? No. I don't use Sharpie in my journal. I use my Micron pen in my journal, which is like a thicker paper, because it's like a sketchbook. But I do not use Sharpie in my journal because it will bleed. What I will do, though, is I will draw comic pages on a piece of paper, and then I will put them into my journal. Sometimes, like, on a different piece of paper, and then just, like, tape them down. This is, like, wildly crooked. It is absolutely crooked. Damn. Okay. And that's a tangent line. I'm gonna die. Okay. This is sick as hell. Thank you. This is, it's kind of beating my ass. I won't lie. This specific page. This is fine. This is the area that's hurting me. Hi, Bunky. Please don't stand on that page. Hi, Bunky. Hi, Bunky. I think this is where I'll call it, because my son is coming in here and I think he wants me to come to bed. Is that what you want? He starts crawling on me when it gets too late. But for all of you that came to stream, thank you for accompanying me as I worked on my things. I'm going to go scan these two pieces, and so we can get some points for our team on ARTFIGHT. And I'll be live again tomorrow. I'm going to be doing more ARTFIGHT attacks. I don't know what we're going to be doing, because there's so many we had bookmarked, but we're actually kind of chewing through these bookmarks. I'm gonna have to find some more things to do. But until then, ending soon. Thank you all for coming. I hope you have a lovely night, and I hope to see you soon. And bye.